Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Chud Watch. How's it going? As you can see, main outfit day. I gotta actually reset that real quick so you guys, so it's reset. Let me change screens for a second so I can reset that. How's it going, everyone? Hope you're having a good Wednesday. By the way, the Cassifel stream is pushed until next week, because I'm garbage. It's my fault. Let me log in to something real quick. Meek says, "Hey there, everybody, Sandman here." Let's see. Where are the widgets? We're getting close. Where is it? Typical reset. Reset. We did it. Alright. Well, we can get into it then. Yeah, sorry the music's so loud. I'm done with it anyway. We can start looking at stuff. Just gonna look at chuds today. Got some red pill people, have some other stuff pulled up, right-wing movie reviews, all sorts of crazy crap, so we will take a look. Ooh, I am warm. This goddamn maid outfit, I'm telling ya. Need to poke holes in it or something. It is a nice sign. My lovely wife made it light up and added the reloaded. Red Werewolf, thanks for 25 months. Okay, let's get it back so you can see the screen, and I'm not so big on the screen, so I'm not so self-conscious. And moving on. I'm doing alright. So let's take a look at some chuds. There is going to be some conspiracy mixed in, because the chuds are conspiracy theorists now, because of course.
The moon, and the sun.
Sorry, I think that's, if anything, a little...
And it's a little...
If anything, that's a little quiet. Let me turn that up.
Bit later now, but...
Better.
So, you see this? The moon.
We're not doing, like, Chud Bingo. We haven't done Chud Bingo in forever.
The moon and the sun are out, and it's a little bit later now, but this
Tea
shit
Time
will be
Tea,
out
thanks
at
for 50
12
bits.
o'clock a.m. too, 1 o'clock, along with the sun. So, I say that because when I grew up, the sun came up, rose, and the moon went down. They didn't exist in the sky at the same fucking time, man.
Yes, they did. You just don't remember it. Or maybe you lived in a different part of the country or world where the angle of the Earth is slightly different. What are you talking about?
You couldn't see the sun, the moon, at 12 o'clock in the evening. I don't know what I'm missing here, but that shit wasn't like that back in my day.
Back in my day, the sun and the moon worked differently.
The first thing I started
noticing. Sure they did, Grandma.
Something just kept telling me, look up, look up, look up, pay attention to the sky. This is how my awakening started. For some reason, I just got real curious in paying attention to the sky. When I seen the moon for the first time around 1 p.m. and the sun directly next to it, like, something ain't right here. But of course my sleepy giant husband is, oh, it's always been like that. It's always been like that.
It has always been like that.
No, the fuck it hasn't always.
Yes, it has.
It's been like that.
Tea Time Tea says, I had a big argument with my mom about whether trans people are evil or not the other day. Your streams help me stay grounded and remember I'm not an awful person for being agender. Thank you so much. You're not. You're not awful at all, and I'm sorry that your mom doesn't understand.
The Bible directly
Oh, God. The Bible to this lady. What do you believe, me or your lying eyes?
Says there'll be signs in the heavens. I don't believe in them type of coincidences.
Well, that's a shame. That explains a lot about how you've gone so far down this rabbit hole, and that's a shame.
I really don't.
Oopsie, didn't mean to do that.
So, I'd like to hear everyone else's opinion. When you were a child, was there ever a time where you would see the moon and the sun at 1 o'clock?
Yes, that absolutely happened. I'm 29.
p.m. right next to each other? Or am I fucking delusional?
It's that one. You're fucking delusional. And she's mad that the Chuds of TikTok person shared the video, which is funny.
So I posted the other day about JFK saying this should all be wrapped up by the 1st of July.
I'm sorry, which JFK? Do you mean senior or junior?
And I had...
Because senior doesn't have enough of a head to form thoughts or words. And, like, junior's pretty close. RFK. I said JFK. Whoops. Forrest Espion says, LOL, since someone mentioned Sandman, here's his strange channel and videos of him reacting to woman memes. Oh, God. Yeah, I've watched Sandman. He's,
Hey, everybody.
certainly interesting. Ugh.
posted on a video saying that it could happen in 1 day, 3 days, or a week.
Bumble Homestead, thanks for 200 bits. Oh, and kicking off a hype train. With, like, right there. That was so close. Thank you so much for kicking off a hype train. If you want another maid day, I guess get to level 10.
We don't know. That's one thing
tip.
they have not told us is a date on when the emergency alert will happen. But I do know one thing, guys. My very first video I posted about all this stuff was that Biden has to be taken out of office before they can do the emergency alert.
Hello, Secret Service. I think this woman is making thinly veiled threats towards the President of the United States, and we know how much you love that. Kat, thanks for 19 months. Tea Time Tea, thank you for 5 Tier 1 subs. Kippy with 100 bits says, Hype Train. Also, I wish Mitch McConnell a very accept the fact you had a stroke on camera and effing retire. Oh, do you guys see that? I'm sure almost everyone has seen this at this point. But since we're doing Chud Watch, of course it makes sense. Whoo! He basically has like a seizure, and I don't mean seizure like a lot of the time media depicts seizures as you know, having like a grand mal seizure, like you know, moving. There are seizures where you just go blank basically, and that looks like what happened to him, or a stroke or something. It's very interesting. Remember the rules on Twitch, TOS, you can't wish people harm, okay? Just an interesting thing to look at in current events. 28% to level 3 on the hype train.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. We're on a path to finishing the NDA this week. It's been good bipartisan cooperation.
Smitty, thanks for 23 months, says, just wanted to say, hey, was watching yesterday's video and made it to the point where the super soldier was talking about how Star Trek 4 was based on a true story. Hope you're all well. Not as good as those whales. If someone wants to show up and take me on a ride to the 23rd, 24th century, I'm game. Simzoid, thanks for 26 months, says, today while reading comments in a Tiny House YouTube channel, I found comments saying the channel was pushing an anti-American agenda and brainwashing us to live in small spaces so we're easier to control by the elite. Oh my god. 76% to level 3.
And a string of
Ooh, the slow zoom in! Oh, it's happening! Oh god! Holy fucking shitballs. Oh god. It's like a Tom Savini creation. This is absolutely going to get turned into, like, reptilian conspiracies, clone conspiracies, robot conspiracies.
Okay, Mitch? Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your press? Do you want to say anything else to the press?
Bummel Homestead says this. Seems bad. Oh, yeah. Very bad. Jesus Christ.
Let's go back to you.
Go ahead, John.
So this is the, we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of the IRA crisis. Continue to studies out the
Good
congressional.
God. He's fucked. This, I was talking about this with Baja earlier, and I was thinking to myself, what is he even still in Congress for? Like, I fundamentally don't understand power and money as an end. I understand it as a means to an end. Like, I understand wanting money so that you can sustain yourself and, you know, have a home and have food and enough to, you know, live your life. Even if you wanted to live it in luxury. But he already has that. He's already very wealthy and has been for decades. Like, what's even the point? If you're gonna die next week, why have you been spending all this time hoarding money and power? Like, what was the point? I don't get it. Meek says this is why we need age limits in Congress. I think in government in general would be pretty good. Teradona says, don't you think he looks tired? Charlie Knight, thanks for 510 bits. Bittergrin with 100 says, I think money is addictive. It seems like most of the rich just want to make more money even when they're set for life. Kippy says, Mitch McConnell has been very active about his political project and pushing the GOP into the current racist and evangelical weird cult that it's become. That's the thing, though. Like, he won! Retire! Like, you did it! They're fucking crazy now! Now what? Now you're dead, and you've made the world a worse place. Congratulations. Hey, Cassifel. Like I said, guys, the Cassifel thing was supposed to be today. It's going to be next week now. Apologies for that, both to all of you and Cassifel, which I, of course, messaged them about. This is not a surprise to them.
I know it's not the real Biden, but we're going to pretend he is.
It's not the real Biden. Oh, God. She been talking to Peter?
So whatever. The guy acting as Biden has to be taken out. And if they are hearing the Lloyd Brunson case right now, it could happen in the next couple of days. So hang tight, guys. We're still waiting on that one thing to happen. So it has to happen before we can get it. I know we're all anxious, so I know I am. So thanks for watching. Bye.
The number of people who, like, so many contradicting things about Biden. He's awful, but also he's an actor, and a puppet, and a robot, and a clone, but also he's an incompetent grandpa, but also he's a dictator who's a super genius working with the deep state to try and control all of us. Like, what is it? What is he? You gotta pick a thing that he is. You can't be all of these things. Fenekagami says, to be fair, when you're trapped in the rat race long enough, it's possible, to just lose sight of the fact that the future is the point. I'm not sure he's capable of envisioning the future for himself. He's been so focused on the goals. Maybe. Charlie Knight with 245 bits says, really the only difference between Tinfoil and Chudwatch at this point is Tinfoil Tuesday has a little more variety. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I did see the Barbie They Live meme. Ridiculous.
So while everybody was asleep, this is happening in the sky. When these formations come through your area, take a good look at what's there. It's phenomenal. And everybody's driving around like nothing's happening. So this is the beginning of the grand convergence. And these crafts are in our skies. They are low. And they are the clouds right now. They are the clouds.
And we're at DEFCON 3, and things are happening.
33% to level 4 with minute and a half
I mean,
left.
they are going to intervene and keep the people safe.
That's right. Listen for the signs. They're gonna sound off. And if they come right over your place and they do a big thunderclap, you're a starseed.
If it thunders above your house, you're a star seed. Oh, God.
Feel your energy.
Feel their energy.
Feel their energy. Now, it's two ways. So connect with these guys. Let them know that you know. We are here. We're the 144K.
Jesus Christ. Fennikagami with 100 bits says, Hannah, remember, it's doublethink. It's only about what arguments support the conversation they're currently having, and that's incredibly frustrating to me. Under a minute left on the hype, 37% to level 4. Harold Elbowman says, I missed yesterday's tinfoil and unboxing. You're more than welcome for the books and the mugs. Have you looked at their bottoms yet? I actually don't know if I have. I can go look. At the mug bottoms? The bottom mug. Let me look. They're Bed Bath & Beyond mugs. I see. Thank you. I didn't realize they were Bed Bath & Beyond. I love it. Thanks for the level 3 hype, everyone.
So, if your child is tuning into music like Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, you know, she's watching certain programming like Baby Shark that has an episode of Cardi B as a character.
Wait, there's a Baby Shark show? Okay. Bronzewing, thanks for 3 months, says, my internet's been effed for weeks now, but it's finally back. I'm finally back. Hello, Hannah. Thanks for being you. Thank you for being you.
Now, guess what? All of these hypersexualized vibrations are...
I'm sorry, do you think that the sharks in Baby Shark are sexy? That's bestiality and pedophilia. They're baby sharks. At least the baby shark is. Isaac Inanimate, thanks for 20 months.
Are now seeping over into this frequency and wavelength that's being transmitted to your child's brainwave, which is programmed with fear. And guess what? Now you're going to stay inside. Like they programmed everyone to stay inside and mask up. Remember that?
Oh, God. The brain rot.
So, I wear that fucking uniform. A lot of my people on here too, my brothers. We all wear that uniform. There's a lot of shit we put up with. A lot of shit we have to sacrifice. A lot of behind the curtain shit people don't see. Right? We may not agree to everything, but at the end of the day, like everybody else, we still have a job to do. However, think I'm...
Did he just say comma verbally?
However,
think
I'm speaking for most of us on here. Don't ever fucking burn or step on the American flag in front of me.
That's people's First Amendment right. Don't you believe in free speech, free expression? It's your First Amendment right to do that.
Because I'll put your fucking teeth down your throat.
Wow. You really showed them. You're very badass. Baby Shark series? That's interesting. Of course there's a Baby Shark show. Someone liked something, so now it has to be the most thing to sell thing.
I'll stand over you as you...
People like thing. Use thing, make money. Sell useless plastic things for money.
Take your last breath. I don't give a fuck.
No, I've not caught up with any of the Neopet stuff. I think I did see a YouTube video recommended to me today about the situation, though, and I was thinking about looking at it. God, people are nuts. What in the world?
$40 in rechargeable batteries. If you knock this nigga out today, you can have all of this for the price of nothing. We tired of this nigga.
Why?
Play both games. I can't.
Oh, there's the guy. Well, I definitely want to watch that. It's the girl who gets harassed by the Christian at the gym.
Would be would serve people's financial. Essentially, if done right, the X would be would serve people's financial needs to such a degree that over time it would become, I don't know, maybe half of the global financial system.
He can't even run Twitter And he's fucking acting like the new Twitter X bullshit is gonna be half the world's financial system. Oh my god, the Silicon Valley tech bro brain rot. Like, it's like he's the source. It's like he's patient zero. He's the worst. What a moron. Overthought says turning the flag into a quasi-deity will always be the weird thing about the right. It is a weird thing. I would not say it is the weird thing.
Wow. Or some big number.
Wow, I like that he just said wow and didn't push back on it at all. Like, that's a ridiculous claim. I don't care how rich you are. You know how stupid that sounds?
I'm not sure what the number is, but pretty big. So it would be by far the biggest sort of financial institution. But like I said, not really in the way that people are used to thinking about banks. Just the
in his head, he's like, I want to be a bank, but without any of those pesky regulations.
Most efficient database for the thing that is money. Like I said, like least amount of fraud. Everything's real time. And if it involves money in any way, it can be dealt with seamlessly on one location.
Historically, the things Elon Musk has said always turn out to be true. That's why we all have millions of robo-taxis on the road. Robot servants. Trips to Mars every week to the colony. And we get there via the Hyperloop vacuum train tunnel. Genius. Why does anyone take him fucking seriously? In the Barbie world, it's fantastic. I've not seen Barbie yet.
Shocking. I mean, I don't know why I should be shocked. But anyways, the blaze, it was brought to their attention. They verified it. Then they went to Fox News to to tell them, ask them for comment. Told them that they were going to air the story. Of course, Fox never gave them, any comment. But this is it. We all know how Fox has gotten. Fox has totally lost their friggin' minds. They are just as bad as MSNBC and CNN and all of them. They really...
Some right-wingers are mad because it turned out that Fox News has a program where they can, like, donate a certain amount of their income to, like... They basically use an app that allows you to donate a certain percentage or whatever of your income to different charities. This app is not made by Fox News. It's a third-party app that's used in various companies, apparently. And some of the charities that the app accepts are, for instance, Planned Parenthood, the Satanic Temple. It's a lot of nonprofits, and those happen to be included amongst hundreds of other nonprofits. Anyway, the Blaze, in order to, I assume, attempt to take some of Fox's market share, is running a pretty disingenuous story about, Fox News is funding abortions and Satanism. And of course, idiots are idiots, so they take that at face value. It's a little funny, Fox News being hit by the same conspiratorial machine that they helped build. But, the world's too weird for irony these days. It's all just...
gotten liberal. When they first came on the scene, it was God, family, and country. That was their motto, And for over 20 years, they've basically stuck with this. But now Murdoch has lost his mind, and his ignorant kids are running the show. And on their website, they show that they support a lot of organizations. And what they're doing now is they're willing to match 100% of a donation up to $1,000.
Yeah, they allow it for tons of charities.
Per employee or whatever, to the Satanic Temple. You heard me right. They
Among many.
are willing to match 100%.
I wonder if a single person at Fox News even has that selected as the thing they're using. Like, is there any... Or did they just literally find out, this is hypothetically possible because of the system they're using, therefore, let's foment anger around it so we can steal Fox viewers. Profane Priestess says, have you been following the... I'm not dealing with drama bullshit, period. So I'm not even going to read that message. I apologize.
Up to $1,000 of each donation to the Satanic Temple. Devil worshippers. They are doing the same with Planned Parenthood. What's funny is there's no Christian-based donations. There's no Christian charities that they are supporting or willing to match. So Fox News has gone from
I find it very hard to believe that there weren't also Christian charities.
God, family, and country to supporting devil worshippers.
Devil worshippers. Have I seen Barbie yet? Or I haven't. Hannah, you haven't seen Barbie yet.
I doubt your commitment to sparkle motion.
Oh, Donnie Darko. Did I see the insane Fox News Holocaust segment during DeSantis' revisionist history?
This is I found this just amazing how much the right wing is trying to justify the new curriculum. Some interesting points.
That she read the whole thing and just decided to cherry pick something? I do think that she read the whole thing.
I should say that they're referring to Kamala Harris's response to this Florida curriculum.
Do you think that she read the whole thing and just decided to cherry pick something? I do think that she read.
Is this like The View for idiots?
The whole thing, and I think.
So like The View.
That it's an incredibly complex piece. When you look at the 191 passages, you have some good, and frankly, I'm just fundamentally uncomfortable with the sentence that blacks benefited at all from this. And, you know, it made me think, as someone, obviously I'm not black, but I'm Jewish. Would someone say about the Holocaust, for instance, that there were some benefits for Jews, right?
Oh God, is this the part? I think I've heard part of this.
While they were hanging out in concentration camps, you learned a strong work ethic, right? Maybe you learned a new skill.
Did you ever read Man's Search for Meaning?
Oh God.
Vic Frankl talks about how you had to survive in a concentration camp by having skills. You had to be useful. Utility kept you alive.
We're also talking about middle schoolers.
Okay, so for those who don't know, that's not how concentration camps generally worked. When you would get to the concentration camp on the train or whatever, they would literally have people looking at you and deciding, we'll keep you for work, we'll keep you for work, we'll keep you for work, you go to the chambers, you go to the chambers, you go to the chambers. And then the ones that they kept, they'd work until they were dead, basically. There was no, I have a good, like, not that it would even fucking matter. Like, what a psychotic viewpoint anyway, to be like, oh, I'm saving myself from the Holocaust by working hard for Nazis. Like, what the fuck is this, what even is this viewpoint?
Here. And
Pause it for 1 second. Pause it for 1 second. First off, this is, I mean, so twisted. First off, like, even Gutfeld doesn't even get what the whole dynamic is. It's not that black people had skills and that helped them have less, like, problematic slave lives in some fashion.
They got like, by or whatever.
Yes, they got by. That is not the point. Isn't that the point? Is that you are arguing that by being in a concentration camp, you learned some skill. Maybe you learned Morse code, or maybe you learned how to communicate, by blinking, or maybe, I don't know, you learned to live on a, an extremely restricted caloric diet. This is like,
right while they were,
that even this is too far. We can't concede anything. And here, continue.
Right while they were hanging out in concentration camps, you learned a strong work ethic, right? Maybe you learned a new skill.
Did you ever read Man's Search for Meaning? Vic Frankl talks about how you had utility kept you alive.
We're also talking about middle schoolers here. And there's a lot of concern about what age people are prepared to understand complex issues. I'm not sure that 12 is the right age to start hearing things like, and when you were enslaved here in America.
What about gender?
Oh my god. One of them literally started saying, "What about gender?" Fuck off. You Nazi cunts. I am so tired of this.
Kitty, and yeah, you're both close to Kitty, and Lexington County, South Carolina, actually, county I live in.
I don't understand what she's saying at all. I apologize.
I got a conspiracy theory, and I want y'all to please listen along to this. When you become croaked the fuck over, and your body is down there at the morgue, do the Y incision, and they take all the insides out, and they drain your bodily fluid. I assume, just like at the hospital, they would dispose of that and call it like toxic waste. Slap a red stamp on that motherfucker, and people pretend to come in there and get it to take it to an unknown location, right? But what if that unknown location is really a very well-known location? The water. Because do they got like a big ass tank for everybody who passed away bodily fluids? Roll with me, because if they put that into the regular drinking water, whether you're going to get it through the faucet, like the tap, or through the bottled water, is that why they got so many different levels to water, like purified and this percent?
Do people really not understand water purification?
For alkaline? Like, what if it's unavoidable? They put it in all the damn water. Like some aqua cremation type shit. It's a lot of creepy shit that be going on down there at the water plants.
Next thing you're gonna tell me all our toilets go into the sewers. You're telling us we're drinking shit water? Water treatment plants are a thing. A lot of things are in the water before it's treated and sent out to homes. Good God. I think that was it on this one. Ragin' Rob is salty because he went to go do a meetup to meet Kyle Rittenhouse. I'm not kidding. And I don't know, he's upset about it or something. The tweet here says, from Distill Social, which is a left-leaning political body in Michigan, says, if you subtract the three of us that attended, the FBI informant and the GHPD UC that really only leaves about 20 or so actual attendees to the Grand Haven Kyle Rittenhouse event. But let them brag how many folks came. Unlike them, we can count. Habitual Dodo, thanks for 31 months, says that's quite a few months. Howdy. He used Power Director to edit this. That's interesting.
So I see that Still Social and their little camera crew showed up at the Kyle Rittenhouse meet in Grand Haven. You know, I might get a little rattled on Facebook by some patriots for this, and that's okay. But the invite to the Grand Haven meetup with Kyle Rittenhouse, the McClowskis, and you know, whatever, it was
is he using a trial version of Power Director? Is that why it's like this? Did he literally like download a trial version? And then this is all it'll let him output at when he produces it? Because, you know, it has the Power Director name on it. Just interesting.
A donation.
Did the meetup have 8 homosexuals there? One can only hope. Fenekagami says, isn't it great that the right-wing freaks are constantly amping up their rhetoric? Meanwhile, here on the left, we keep purity testing. I get that accountability is important, as is defending yourself when necessary, but I just get so tired, it feels like people keep losing the plot.
I donated money to the Grand New Party and the Sons of Liberty for that meet. That's how I got the info to, you know, well, we were supposed to meet at a first location, which I'm not going to name. But then I get there and they tell me, well, the location's changed.
We have to move to a secondary location. Argonian Bum says, who does the I'm angry no matter what sentence I'm saying? This dude or Clock Guy Dave? This guy.
Because some unfriendly people found out the first location. So they gave us a second location, which I'm not going to name. To this day, I'm not going to name it. But anyway, so I went to the second location. Only ticket holders got the location. So, I got to give credit where credit is due. Thank you, Distill Social, for your generous donation to the Grand New Party. And thank you for their...
Okay. If they used it to get in and make fun of you, worth it.
For your generous donation to the Sons of Liberty.
I'm gonna have to see if they took any video.
Your generous, kind donation is going to help patriots and candidates like Steve Cara, Angela Regas, Josh Shriver, Neil Frisky. Oh, I'm sure there's more I can think of. Just not the top of my head at the moment. Thank you for your kind, generous donation. We're moving forward in this state. Some people don't agree with the Grand New Party. I'm not real familiar with them. They just started not too long ago, so still take some time.
Grand New Party is a play on Grand Old Party. GOP stands for Grand Old Party, so this is a play on that. Grand New Party. Presumably it's like neo-Nazi alt-right types.
But your generous donation is going to help us with lawsuits, with civil rights cases, bills, etc.
Etc. I'm pretty good at finding patterns. I don't know if I could find the etc. in that one.
Help us fight that tyrannical government that we have in Lansing. It's going to help us fight that tyrant in Lansing. It's going to help us fight
that tyrant,
that lesbo Marxist Attorney General in Lansing. It's going to help us fight that fraudulent Secretary of State in Lansing. Thank you, Distill Social, for your generous and kind donation. Thank you.
He's salty.
And I have a good idea who was behind the Twitter suspension of the Grand New Party. I have a good idea.
They're doing great. You have to really fuck up to get banned on, like, Elon's Twitter, so they must have posted some truly vile stuff.
The leftists in his state just keep fucking up.
Whitmer's been so awesome, I think she has a legit chance of being president someday. I'd agree. I'd vote for her.
And every time they do, they just expose how stupid they are. So, until we meet again, Distill Social, whatever you call yourselves, until we meet again, thank you for your kind, generous donation. My name is Raging Rob Kinnison. I'm out.
Does he think that there's some kind of rivalry between him and this like, grassroots political group? Because I don't think they know who you are, and if they do, they absolutely make fun of you, and that's amazing. Oh, he also did this video, which is just creepy. It's just a minute long. We're gonna listen to it in silence. Oh, sorry. Kippy says he has the slightest Elmer Fudd in his enunciation that's starting to get gradually more and more funny to see.
Hey, if you're scrolling, stop real quick. Allow me to say a prayer for you. Lord Jesus, I just thank you for whoever's across this screen right now. I ask that you would be with them and that you would bless them. Help them to feel near you, Lord Jesus. And if they're struggling, just help them to remember that you woke them up for a reason this morning, Lord, and that you love them. Lord Jesus, if they feel far away from you, draw near them and help them to feel near you. Help them to grow in their relationship with you and help them to know that this pain is only momentary and that they're going to get through it. Lord Jesus, be with them and fill them with the Holy Spirit. All glory and all praise to you, Lord Jesus. Amen. All right, God bless you, man. Have a good day.
I don't know what the fuck that was. That was absolutely psychotic. I should actually look up if I can find that Distill Social and see if they have video from the day. I don't know if they have a YouTube channel or what. This is them. Oh, they only have stuff from like a year ago. That's a shame. They have other links? They do not. They have shorts. They're from a while ago, though. I don't know if they maybe have an Instagram or a TikTok or something. I don't know. Anyway.
How come the courts, not a single court out of these 70 cases, none of the judges, many of them Trump judges, ruled in the favor of people who believe that the election was stolen?
Well, who told you that?
Well, the judges in their rulings said all of that.
And how do you know that?
Because they issued public opinions and rulings, and because...
Where did you hear that?
Well, we heard it from the judges.
You heard it from the judges themselves?
Yeah, they issued rulings and opinions in open court.
On the news? Or did you read
They...
You can read it on the court websites. Oh, God.
On their dockets?
Well, we have judges in place all over the country.
That didn't answer the question.
Some are from the deep state, some are from President Trump. And in the process of them denying those rights, well, then you go to the next judge, and exposure comes.
That's not how that works.
And exposure comes, and it's coming right now.
But exposure hasn't happened yet.
Oh, it's happening. Oh, yes, it is. You have to get off
the denial on her face. Oh, yeah.
The news. You have to go someplace else and find it.
Can you point to me a single judge that has ruled that the election was stolen or that there was malfeasance that would have overturned the results of any state?
Look at the Supreme Court.
Well, the Supreme Court hasn't accepted any of these cases either.
How do you know that?
What?
Because they have a docket and they list what cases they review and they issue their opinions.
You choose to believe that, you can believe that, but I have alternative news and I find out.
Fuck. Things are bad, chat. Things are so bad. I have to urinate already, so let me put on a sausage guy video or something while I go and pee. All of you behave, please. Fuck it, Barbie sausage. Enjoy.
Hey, Ken.
Be right back.
You wanna go for a ride? Yes, I do. And please, call me Mr. Sausage. Please, mister, I'm scared. You should be. Pretty princess. Remember, August 4th is the last day to order your ordinary sausage U2's plushie. So don't forget. Once they're gone, they're gone. So order yours today. Breakdance. Oh, that sucked. Well, hey there, folks, and welcome back. I guess. Now, unfortunately, we won't be able to make a sausage out of the Barbie doll due to you know, the plastics being poisonous. So we're gonna settle on the pink sauce, which isn't pink at all. My skin's pinker than this sauce. What color would you say that is? It's pale. There's no way this is pink. Jeez. Are they protecting the sauce, or are they protecting you from the sauce? That's the question. Ooh. It smells like mayonnaise. And for the taste test, see, now what they've done here is made Thousand Island dressing. Far from ordinary. Hey, ordinary! This thing's not turning any pinker. It's a scam. And I know everyone wants me to sausage the plushie, but I just love him so much. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna be buried with this thing. Yep. Well, that's not getting ground up.
I'm sorry, is he actually grinding up a Barbie?
My God.
What the fuck?
I'm sorry, Barbie. Oh, there goes her leg. I'm not crawling back there, so that's gone forever. Am I still pretty? Oh, there's even more body parts? This is a horror scene. Good God, what have I done? Mrs. Sausage ever goes missing, I'm gonna need a true fan to delete this video off the internet.
Hydrate.
And now for the scam sauce. It's like getting punched in the face with CO2. I'll be the first to admit that's probably too much sauce. And I've already sung this one before, but we're doing it again for the occasion.
Guys, don't worry. Microplastics are dangerous. No one said anything about macroplastics.
I'm a sausage girl in a sausage world, wrapped in casing. It's amazing.
What is wrong with this man?
In 3, 2, 1, let's sausage! Oh wait, no, hold on. Let's not do that. Okay, now in 3, 2, 1, let's sausage. Whoa. What? A lot of air pockets in this sausage. We're crushing Barbie's head now. With special thanks to today's Mark Boxalo box artist, this guy. What timing? What perfect timing for this one. But how could you treat Charlie so cruelly? Moving away from Florida was the hardest thing I had to do. So will it blow? Oh, immediately. How you doing, little fella? It looks like the worm from Dune. So I'm gonna have to give that will it blow 3 Mark Ruffalos. Now normally I'd throw it in the smoker, but I want to really taste the flavor of that pink sauce. So we're gonna throw it in the toaster oven. All right, oh, it's drippy. It's getting drippy in here. It's done. It looks like a big old turd. Well, all right, let's open it up and see how we did. Oh, it pulled right apart. Oh, it keeps pulling apart. I think we may have overcooked it. Such is life. Here we
I'm taking my meds. Take your meds.
It's okay. The sausage meat is extremely crumbly. It's weird. Look, it just all pulls apart in your hand. It's weird. It still tastes like Thousand Island dressing, and that's pretty much it. It's not so much a taste thing. It's a texture thing. That's the downfall of this sausage. The sausage.
Does my cat girl outfit give me a +2 to coding rolls? Yes, but unfortunately my coding skill is negative. It was my dump stat.
Meat is just so crumbly. It's not.
I put all my points into being inappropriate and bad jokes. I min-maxed, and I didn't understand the meta.
All together. So I'm gonna have to give this sausage here a 3 out of 5.
Bop 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 bop.
Funny. Okay, back to it.
You look at the Constitution, and I can give you clause after clause after clause in the Constitution direct from Scripture, where the Founding Fathers said, hey, we got the idea of separation of powers because we knew that, you know, the heart is evil. No man can know it. Jeremiah 17:9, we don't want to make anybody king. You might be a great king today. We might think you're a great guy. As soon as you get all that power, your own evil is going to come out. So we want to
tell you a joke. Oh, God. Okay, so some strings. 3 strings walk into a bar, and the bartender says, "Hey, we don't serve strings here. Get out." And they leave. And you fucker overthought. I'll delete you. What are you doing? Why would you step on my punchline like that? You monster. All right. I can't tell jokes anymore. Overthought ruined it.
separate the powers as best we can. We, you know, the whole idea of republicanism, the whole idea of choosing our leaders, 10s, 50s, 100s, thousands, that's local, county, state, federal government, right out of Exodus. So we can do that all day long.
Oof.
Are seeing those who support.
We got to Los Angeles before returning to New Jersey. In the morning, in his suite, before everybody went their separate ways, we prayed together, and that was really, really powerful.
I don't believe for a second that Roger Stone or Trump has ever honestly prayed in their entire lives.
I would say about a month ago, maybe a little longer, I was headed out to the door of the church. I go to Coral Ridge Presbyterian.
Overthought, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. You didn't have to do that, I was just joking, for the record, but thank you.
Church, which was founded by Dr. D.
Sorry, MH Dark Beast. MH Dark Beast said, you know how RK said he'd never have stated anti-vax views? Well, Jeff Holiday posted the entire video from a few years back from the Baby Back Cracker convention with RFK. It's an unlisted video, but he said to use it and spread it. He really states it's about halfway through the video. Oh, interesting. Let me find that link again. There it is. Thank you. Appreciate it. Where were we? I keep looking for the Twitter tab. I keep forgetting it's a stupid X now. And H-Baird, I apologize. H-Baird said, 10 watch and comment on Chuds, 20 to go. There you go. You coded. I don't get coding jokes. I even took a class in high school for coding. I passed. It all fell out of my head. I programmed and made a solitaire game, and after that I had nothing. Got nothing. I did solitaire, and then I did nothing else. I don't know how to code.
And we're living in a world that hates men, especially white men.
Come on, man.
And they hate patriarchy. They hate the head of the house.
Did I make the cards do the bounce? No, it didn't even work right. It's just that my teacher didn't pay that much attention, so they thought it worked even though it didn't really.
It's toxic feminism is
oh God.
What it is.
They've learned the word toxic, a new word for them to pervert into a totally different meaning than the intent.
And this is what the Barbie movie promotes.
Oh my God, it's about the fucking Barbie movie.
The hatred of men, turning men into boy toys, emasculating men while they rule.
Literally, my understanding, I haven't seen Barbie yet, but my understanding seems to be that the treatment of the Kens in the Barbie world is supposed to be an ironic reflection of the treatment of women in the real world. So it seems like a lot of these right-wing men who are like, oh, the Barbies are getting, or the Kens are getting treated badly. Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. They're showing how having a society in which one gender controls most of the power and disallows people from the opposite gender from having power is bad. It's a reflection of the state of affairs that currently exists. Literally, this idea isn't even original. Star Trek has done this. What's the other thing I was thinking of that had done? Sliders did an episode like this. Like, this is not even a new trope. This is an old trope. Oh, gender-flipped society, but women are in charge, and then men have to cope and deal with, like, oh, is this what it's like to be a woman? It's been done in media for decades and decades. I do plan on seeing Barbie, by the way. I just haven't seen it yet.
These became revivals. What would happen if Jesus wasn't having to be hidden off in a corner with a bunch of nervous Christians? What if we came right up front and said the only hope for America isn't political? I don't care who your candidate is. You need God. Well, here's my thinking. I'll bet you there's 20 million Republicans ready to come into the kingdom of God. Now, I'm sure there's Democrats too. We get them all the time. But I'm saying the low-hanging fruit is staring at us. You can get up there and talk about Billy Graham and God Bless America and go all sing amazing.
Is he under the impression that Republicans aren't already majority, like super majority Christian? Like, what is his sales pitch here?
In grace, they'll all join. They just don't know the gospel. So, America First Policy Institute is the secular arm of what's going on with the whole campaign on the right. But I talked to them and I said, you know, you got to get Charlie Kirk involved. You got to get some of that younger generation that is both Christian and in.
Charlie Kirk, the younger generation. How old is Charlie Kirk? Hold on, let me check something. Oh my, how is Charlie Kirk and I are the same fucking age? Oh my god. I guess the difference is my ass and tits kept growing and his face just kept getting bigger, or his head did. What in the world? I thought he was at least a decade older than me, I swear to God. I thought he was like at youngest 39. How is that man 29 years old? That is a rough 29, oh my.
Engaged. And they said, well, Lance, how about you? What you and Mario are doing? I said, oh, well, we're really out of the box. But then the Lord reminded me, what are you afraid of? What are you nervous about? I thought, okay, so mark this one down, Greensboro Coliseum. It's our first experiment at inviting the Republican Party to a major event at a conference.
What a weird strategy.
Sermons.
What is the purpose of feminism? What do they want out of women? And I think it's obvious. What is the purpose of feminism? What do they want out of women?
The purpose of feminism is to make questions like that weird. What do you mean, what do they want out of women? The point of feminism is to put agency in the hands of women themselves, so that women are able to make their own choices and have agency in their own lives. It's not about getting something out of anyone. It's about giving choice to people. What the fuck is wrong with you?
And I think, I thought about this a lot, and to me it just seems really obvious that the end goal of feminism and all of these messages...
The end goal is for people to be treated equally regardless of their gender. For people to be treated well, or at least neutrally, and not, like, shit upon just for being a woman. What are you talking about?
Is really to keep people as childless as possible, as self-sterilized.
Wait, is she under the impression that no feminists have children? What are you talking about? Oops, didn't mean to skip ahead like that, sorry.
Self-sterilized, really to keep people as childless as possible, as self-sterilized as possible. It almost feels like, maybe this is strong language, but a form of genocide almost.
Oh my god, birth control isn't genocide, you psycho bitch. You're literally just retreading, like, white genocide conspiracy theories.
Like, Americans, like, they don't want you to be stable and happy and raising your own children.
People can't be stable and have kids in a society where they can't afford homes, where they can't afford bills and food. Children don't bring you stability. What is wrong with you?
And it seems very obvious why they don't want to do that. They really want to sort of educate children themselves and feed them all their own messages. So the fewer kids that you have, the fewer kids they have to worry about not getting the messages, not
That doesn't make any sense.
Not being indoctrinated.
It would be a proportional, even in the conspiracy you're touting, it would be a proportionality issue and not an objective numbers issue. Like, if they could teach any kids your brainwashing bullshit that you believe, they could do it on any scale, theoretically. Like, what are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense.
They did properly.
I don't know if there's anything else from this page before we get into some of the longer stuff. Okay, let's move on. You want to watch some guys try and like unravel why they think Barbie's doing so well? Again, I haven't seen Barbie. I plan to see it. But these guys are confounded.
Barbie and its early financial success is real. You can't deny that 155 million domestic opening weekend, 182 international box office. In its opening weekend, 337 million. It's already destroyed Indiana Jones, which has been out for 3 weeks. Destroyed it. It's already almost cleared. It's more than halfway to Little Mermaid's total in
Completely forgot Little Mermaid even came out.
In one weekend. This isn't really the first week. It's just like the opening weekend because it started on Thursday.
Barbie's the new Last Jedi for Chuds. Guys, I like Last Jedi. I think it's like my second favorite Star Wars movie, so don't kill me.
On its budget of $100 million. Now,
excuse me, I was told if you go woke, you go broke. Not if you go woke, you become the #1 movie in America. Wind Chanter with 100 bits.
Those bums won their court case, so they're marching today. What bums?
I hate Illinois Nazis.
The fucking Nazi party. Illinois Nazis. I hate Illinois Nazis.
I have
145.
They have
Barbie.
They update. What am I on? I'm on Barbie. They've updated it. They haven't updated it here. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I saw online was 145.
Yeah, I think it's 145.
Okay.
I think
either way,
it's close. If not,
this was 2 days ago, by the way. The numbers are still holding pretty strong for Barbie.
Already.
Either way, 400.
It's only about 15 mil short of breaking even.
Yeah, I'd say 350 to 400.
I was saying around 400 was probably. I was gonna say 400. With
all that, they're concerned about break even. Barbie's doing fine, guys. It's gonna make all the money. It's already made so much of the fucking money.
That marketing blitz.
Yes.
They put a lot into the market.
I agree. I agree with Adam on that. The marketing for this film is the most extreme marketing I've seen since Godzilla 1998. Okay? This is the
Casafel, of course, we must be enemies now.
This is the most
that is an important point.
Barbie is freaking everywhere.
I didn't hear
since
what they said.
Godzilla 19
blitz.
Yes.
They put a lot into the market.
I agree. I agree.
I feel like most of the Barbie marketing has been people memeing it more than anything. There's definitely been marketing that I've seen, but for the most part, when I've seen Barbie stuff, it's been memes generated by fans and people anticipating the movie, the Barbenheimer stuff.
I agree with Adam on that. The marketing for this film,
it's 475 million worldwide. Oh yeah, that definitely made its money back already.
is the most extreme marketing I've seen since Godzilla 1998. Okay, this is the most. This is the most.
That is an important point.
Barbie is freaking everywhere, everywhere. I was watching a UFC fight. Homeboy, this guy's face knocked clean off. Sponsored by Barbie. Okay.
Oh my God.
Oh
yeah, it's a big movie.
Right. Okay. Like literally.
Why Barbie on sport? Sport for man. Punch man. Man punch. Barbie woman. No good on Punch Channel. Why Punch Channel have Barbie? No Barbie on Punch Channel.
The marketing for this.
The fuck is this?
Film has got to be at least, and I think I'm gonna be very generous here, at least $75 million.
Oh.
Okay.
I think it's much higher.
Oh, it's way higher than that. Typically, movies, it's a rule of thumb. This is untrue for horror movies. In fact, horror movies, the marketing often outpaces. The marketing costs for horror movies, depending on the movie, can outpace the actual budget of the film. But for most movies, you can assume that you take the budget of the movie and then double it to get the marketing cost. It's not perfect, but that's the general rule. I don't know the budget for Barbie. Let me take a look. Looks like the budget for Barbie was $145 million, so if you double that, it's closer to like 280, 270, no, 290, I'm sorry. 290 million total. I'd even bump it up, maybe 350 million. Maybe it did have a big marketing budget. Like, okay, it already made that money back, and we're not even talking about streaming, home media, and the continued theatrical run. They're really trying to come up with some sort of excuse. Juggle! Excuse me. Do I think Oppenheimer or Barbie had a bigger marketing budget? Barbie. Probably. Bittergrin says, looks like 150 million was the marketing. Okay, so that pretty much is exactly right then. Double the budget. So it cost 300 million to make, roughly, and it's already made 400 something globally. Right now it's at 337. This was a few days ago. It's above that now. So they've already made their budget back. It's all profit here forward.
Probably even higher than that. The marketing for this film has been absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. It hasn't been like this since, for those who remember, when Godzilla 98 came out, when Godzilla was freaking everywhere. It was on every billboard sign. It was in like Taco Bell commercials. It was in all that stuff. For those who remember back then.
Terrible film too. Hold on. You know what? I was gonna pull the Matthew Broderick Godzilla film. I apparently do not own it. I thought I did. I'm disappointed in myself. Hydrate. Anyway, it's a terrible movie.
Remember how that thing was marketed?
It's okay, Chan. I have most of the good Godzilla movies and Gamera.
I've never seen marketing like that since then.
That's a lot of fish.
And they're going to reap benefits from that because of that marketing. And lying, but nothing.
His name was like Leo Totopoulos. I remember that, and it was a joke that no one could remember his name. I do have the Godzilla animated series that's based off the '98 American film. Does that count?
Here nor there, but it's making money. It's making money hand over fist.
And at the same time, real quick, at the same time, because of the writer's strike and the actor's strike, there's no what we said last week. All we have are the interviews before everything, which are all telling, but they can't be running their mouths saying shit at the moment. So there's no counter narrative to.
They're literally trying to come up with conspiracies for why, like, no, this can't be happening. This can't be happening. This fucks up my whole worldview. It's happening. It's happening, guys. Calm down.
The marketing and the just visible success of $337 million.
Windchanter says, Godzilla, the animated series, slapped so much harder than the movie.
We've got this Barbie phenomenon. And I don't think any of us in our predictions said it wouldn't make money. I believe we all said it was gonna.
I haven't seen their predictions. I can't point out if they're being liars here. I don't know. Puka, thanks for 32 months.
Bank this first weekend. And now I didn't think it was going to be this much money.
Oh, by the way, I can post on and do live streams on YouTube again. So we will be doing the Patreon-only live stream this upcoming Sunday. And on Thursday, which is tomorrow, we will be doing a YouTube stream. Just so everyone's aware.
Yeah, I think we all said that it was going to have a I remember I was all saying it's going to be having a massive opening week.
And I am absolutely sure this time because I uploaded a video today to YouTube, so I'm good.
I remember us all saying that. It was going to have an opening because of the spectacle that it was going to be.
Yeah.
Because everybody was fired up about the idea of a Barbie.
Why does it matter? Women had Barbies, women have money, women go to movies. Where are we losing them? You are losing them because you consider women to be human beings, and they do not. The general consensus amongst film bros is that movies for women are unsuccessful. That's not even just like these kind of douchebags' opinion. A lot of producers and studios feel the same way, that movies that are made primarily with women as a demographic in mind are doomed because women are more likely to see a movie for men than men are to see a movie for women. Right? Quote unquote for. You know what I mean here. From a perspective or writing towards a specific demographic in mind when we're talking about gender. So I imagine they're just aghast that a film that is not only feminine, clearly written, directed, and entirely like shot from a female like POV with a female director, you know, the auteur, so to speak, Greta Gerwig, who's a great director, is a woman. you know? So this idea that this movie that's very well going to potentially be like the biggest film of the year so far is a film that was created, designed, marketed to women primarily, and it kicked everyone's ass. They don't like that because it implies that, oh my god, women have an effect on culture. Women's opinions matter. Look! And I think they don't want to admit that.
Film. And sure enough, it is. It's a spectacle. I was in a full house in the ghetto. Full house! In the ghetto! I wasn't about to spend good money on this.
All right.
I just went to IMAX Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I did. Oh yeah, I spent good money.
Now we're going to sticky floors and weird smells.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird smells. A lot of old condoms laying around. Bad.
But you got
old condoms laying around your IMAX theater? Is it a porn theater?
This I was thinking more like 250. And I didn't say that's what I was thinking, but 337. And again, I did say this in my video, and I believe I said it this weekend, that it would break even by next weekend. So it's going to break even. It'll be in profit.
Yeah, I want to see Oppenheimer too. I'm more interested in Barbie, but I imagine I'll like Oppenheimer. I generally like Nolan's movies. The only one I haven't seen are Tenet and the movie about Dunkirk. Dunkirk is the name of the movie too.
Who is Barbie marketed to?
If we're gonna break this up demographically, women, younger girls, like men can watch it too, of course, but like, I would say, yeah, primarily it's a nostalgic thing. It's kind of like, and I talked about this the other day, like how Transformers was marketed towards men, let's say. This is sort of a nostalgia thing for women, primarily. Again, not only women played with Barbies, I'm just saying, generally, if we're talking broad demographic marketing speak.
Children, young girls.
Why are conservatives trying to claim Oppenheimer? I haven't seen the movie, but do they not know he was denounced as a communist during the Red Scare? I don't know. I think they just see it as stoic. Like, all the marketing is Oppenheimer being stoic, about whatever he's feeling about, his work. So I think they just take that and go, ooh, he's a man, and he's wearing a fedora in the 40s. So I think that's probably part of it. It's the aesthetic. Lots of gays love Barbie. Yeah, that's fair. You've always hated the idea of toys for boys and toys for girls. It is a little weird, but whatever.
Actual Barbie, but this movie?
Oh,
no,
this movie was marketed towards adults.
Yes. Wine moms.
Yeah, the wine moms, 100%.
Wine moms, so derisive.
100% the wine moms that used to play with Barbie 40 years ago.
Now, in my again,
as opposed to Avengers, which markets to people who grew up reading comic books or cartoons from the 80s and 90s starring the Avengers.
I put out a video that...
Like, you can, if you're gonna do nostalgia bait, you can do it for a variety of things. Like, let's say they made, I was gonna say, what if they made a Gem and the Holograms movie, but they did, and it's fucking terrible. Imagine if they made a good Gem and the Holograms movie. Maybe it would make money. Like, it's fine. It's just a nostalgia film, and it's probably well done. Again, I haven't seen it, but it is directed and written by Greta Gerwig, and she's great. So, it's probably just a well-made, fun movie. Windchanter with 200 bits says The Simpsons predicted this. Malibu, Stacy, the music.
So, sap.
I can't play any more of that. Disney owns The Simpsons, so...
This week, I haven't seen it. I suggest you do. I put out the theory.
It's so weird to me, too, because, like, even if it was, quote-unquote, wine moms, which is so funny, because I can't imagine that these dudes don't have an occasional drink or whatever. I don't care. But the derisive, like, tone of, like, oh, they're just moms who drink wine. Like, okay, and they bought movie tickets? Like, are women who are mothers not allowed to go out and have fun? and, like, enjoy themselves and enjoy a movie that's made with their sensibilities in mind. Like, you're acting like that's a bad thing, or that it's morally wrong. Very weird.
That the old ways of marketing are maybe need to be supplanted by the new idea of word of mouth, because Sound of Freedom...
Oh, God. Box office numbers, very real, not inflated by a scam of getting people to donate tickets to people so the theaters are empty. Oh, God. Bittergrin says, obviously the women should be supporting the men in what they want to see or staying at home cooking dinner.
Is purely word of mouth.
No, it's not. It's literally just being astroturfed by people donating money. Oh, God, whatever. You guys know the situation.
On its metrics compared to everything else, laying waste to everything.
Oh, my God. It's laying waste to everything by not being as popular and being astroturfed by a scam campaign, allegedly. They're killing it. This definitely isn't denial.
100%.
Word of mouth.
Well,
And-
just
and-
look at profit. Look at profit versus total box office.
And I'm sure Barbie won't be profitable at all. Windchanter says, this is like when all those churches made that torture porn film #1 in the country. Oh, Passion of the Christ, yeah.
I think
Well,
you're
rate
doing
of-
in what?
rate
Almost
of
$100
return.
million in profit almost?
It's been
Almost $100 million
it's been in profit since June 10th.
Yeah. Tim Pool and a bunch of other right-wingers got their audience to donate money to gift tickets to people, so a bunch of theaters are bought out, but no one's in them. That's why you saw those people on Twitter posting, like, I'm in the Sound of Freedom, and they said that it was sold out, but there's only, like, 8 people here, 5 people here, 2 people here. It's because the theaters are getting sold out, but not really. It's kind of like when people, like, get on the bestseller list, but what really is happening is, I don't know if you guys know this, but political people will spend money getting on the bestseller list, like the New York Times bestseller list. They'll put out a book or something, and then their campaign, as a campaign expense, will buy a bunch of the book. And then they'll give the book away at, like, events and rallies and stuff like that. So it appears on paper, oh, look, this is a best-selling book, when in reality, it's a marketing stunt. It's a thing that they pay for, and then they write it off as a expense. It's the same thing, but a movie, basically.
It's been in profit mode since June 10th, and here we...
What's the word that the PP show people were obsessed with about instead of profit? Revenue. Revenue.
We are.
Revenue versus profit.
And the only question, and I mean...
Revenue is gross, profit is net.
Look at this streak from the 12th to the 19th. No decrease, only going higher. Word of mouth has skyrocketed this success, and the only question then is how.
I like that it's a Barbie video, but they're spending so much time talking about Sound of Freedom because it's so devastating to them that Barbie, the girliest girly girl that ever girled in terms of pop culture figures, is beating them. That's so funny.
How far will it go?
And if it's going to get an international release.
Fenekagami says Barbie's doing well because it's a fun family film comedy. Oppenheimer is about war crimes, and Sound of Freedom is a QAnon film about sex trafficking. Gee, I wonder why more people would rather watch Barbie. Hydrate.
Please.
Yeah, and we've heard rumors. We've only heard rumors through other people talking through chats in other streams, as far as I know. I'll go with Jez because he's got because it's black. All right.
Do
So
the
you look at
PP
the
guys understand the jig is up? No, they do not. They're still fine. They still don't understand what's going on. They're still very pro Bed Bath & Beyond, even though they're getting wiped out.
graph there.
This is how much it was predicted to make. This faint yellow thing right here, and then this is how much it's made.
Yeah. It was an astroturfing campaign, which I don't care either way. If those people want to allegedly money launder, that's their business.
Yeah,
It's significant.
How far?
Making
It's
crazy money.
It's just how long will it go? And the positive word of mouth has driven it. And I have posed, and again, I didn't say it was going to be the way I said, and I made the point in my video. This is something we're going to watch for the next month or two as these movies battle it out and the remaining summer movies.
Battle it out. You think there's any... In a weekend, Barbie made more than the entirety of what Freedom has won so far in terms of box office, and you think this is a competition? What the fuck? GamerG says the pet rock craze also sold millions of overpriced rocks. Clearly the rock is the pet of the future.
Movies come out. Word of mouth.
It's that, except in this scenario, weird fundamentalist fans of rocks are buying up all the pet rocks to artificially inflate the number of rock owners in order to make people think that there's a bunch of rock lovers, even though there's not really. I think that tracks.
Is it the new mode of marketing to really get people in there? And Barbie went full traditional, and from our sphere, the word of mouth for Barbie is, well, Dre is going to bring charges against it for abuse. That's how bad it was.
What? What? I have only heard great things about Barbie. A friend of mine, literally, I texted her the other day to see how she was doing, and she was like, "Oh, good. Me and my name of her fiance are going to see Barbie again." They were seeing it for a second time. I have not heard anyone who isn't like this kind of person say anything about Barbie other than, at worst, I heard like, it was okay. There were some problems, but it was a lot of fun. Which is about what I expect. A fun movie that's well made, some interesting visuals, and to make me laugh. I've not heard anyone say it's like dog shit who wasn't trying to push an agenda. Something nice is a treat. Let's see.
Golden turns around and says, "I want to be very clear. I have no problem with your sexuality. This is
Homophobe!
It's not a homophobe
You
thing.
hit both of the gay ones. I'm sorry, I'm
Honest, to be clear, I am very socially liberal. I am fiscally conservative. I'm a libertarian.
That's funny. I've seen clips from that D&D game, and that guy's always so funny. He's a great DM. Fenekagami says, "I was right. The success of Barbie is hilarious. Also, it's so funny to me that none of them noticed the Sound of Freedom campaign is just about making a profit. It's not helping children at all. It's almost like the letter, Freedom Needs Truth, begging people to stop with these conspiracies because they're hurting children at a point." Oh, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, there's actually something interesting to be said with that, because marketing, there's actually a precedent to sue a studio if the marketing is misleading. The precedent was set in 2010 with...
Wait, are they unironically saying they're going to sue Warner Brothers for Barbie? Oh my god. They're so fucking salty. By the way, guys, I do have a plan. I talked about this a little bit on Discord, but for those who aren't part of the Discord, first of all, join the Discord. Second of all, I was talking about once I see Barbie in the next week or so, I want to do a stream where it's just like 3 hours of us watching different Chud's Barbie reviews. I didn't pick a Barbie, like, this isn't a review, this is them talking about the box office, which is why I picked it. But, like, I want to go through, like, Ben Shapiro's 45-minute Barbie review and just tear his ass apart, basically. Metaphorically, of course.
With Drive, or another Ryan Gosling movie, and someone sued the company for saying, your trailers made it look like a Fast and Furious movie. It was a crime thriller. I'm suing you, and I believe she won. So the trailers marketed it as a dumb, fun Barbie Land movie, and not a anti-patriarch shit.
This movie had themes that I don't like. I'm gonna sue you. Holy fucking shit.
I thought, because I just want to add the fact that they went to full marketing, and I do want to talk about that because that's the next part of this discussion. But
like, this is some really funny cope. Like, this is so bad. Look at these men in their like 30s and 40s having a live stream where they're bitching about the Barbie movie and saying they're gonna sue Warner Brothers. God. Oh, it's like half the country have turned into lol cows. I say that in a cat maid outfit. That's how bad it is.
And I'm going to reference Ryan Kindle, RK-Epos. He's brought it up for the past several days. This movie wasn't made for us. We can literally say that now with...
Okay. What's the problem? And this is so funny, because, like, does everything need to be made for you? Last time I checked, you guys are the people who are bitching about Marvel movies and being like, why are they pandering to women? Marvel should be for men. Why is it the MCU? Stop making things. Go make your own thing. And now Barbie comes out, is unapologetically for women. It's a narrative that women can relate to, from what I've heard, generally. You know, people are individuals, but you know what I mean. And now they're mad it's not for them? The fuck? I know I shouldn't expect consistency, but I expect them to at least hide their hypocrisy better.
Without any sarcasm. This movie was not made for men. It wasn't made for us. It was made for a certain kind of men. Soy boys.
They're not even in their head being like, this was made for women. No, it still has to be about men. So it's clearly made for soy boys, which is bad, I guess. That's a bad thing for some reason. Even though 70% of the audience for Barbie was women. Sure.
But it really wasn't made for our sphere. It wasn't made for men. It was made for the wine moms.
Even if that was true, and again, I haven't seen the movie, also the derisive use of the word wine mom is interesting here. Kind of trying to put down any woman who would, I don't know, be interested in this movie by acting as though they're alcoholics? Seems to be the implication here. Oh, they're just irresponsible alcoholic mothers. I don't understand how you hold this worldview and don't feel so fucking embarrassed. Like, this is embarrassing. There are so many things you can do with your life. We have a finite amount of time on this planet, right? You will get only so many years and moments and seconds, and then you will be dead. And then someday everyone you've ever loved will also be dead, and will all be forgotten like dust in the wind. Why are you taking the precious time you have here that you should be using to enjoy life, to express things, to be creative, to share it with people you love, or at least people you enjoy spending time with, and instead you're spending it doing this? Trying to conspiracy theory why Barbie did well? It's not hard to understand. You just don't want to admit, oh, maybe a lot of women wanted to see this movie, and a decent number of men. Because they're not fucking weird, toxic weirdos who can't enjoy something pink without feeling emasculated. It's just weird, man.
So, and I didn't think about this because I made my video that morning before.
Like, when I was in middle school, which was over a decade ago, I graduated in 2012, 11 years ago. That was high school. Middle school, we had already dealt with this pink bullshit. Like, there were people who, this was a thing. I remember this happened in the school. Like, there were some guys who got made fun of for, like, pink shirts or something for a little bit, and then kind of collectively as a class, everyone kind of socially over time. It's actually interesting to think about now. The dynamics of sort of the interactions between different groups in, like, a school setting for children. But anyway, sort of, there were ripples in different factions, but basically it ended up being like, hey, don't be assholes. There's nothing wrong with pink. It doesn't have to be gendered, and even if it was, fuck you. And people stopped making fun of people for wearing pink shirts, right? And anyone wore them, and it was considered like, oh, you're very comfortable with yourself. Cool. This was a group of middle schoolers that were able to work through these, like, basic bullshit things And these are people like 3 times the age of these children at minimum, maybe 2.5, I don't know. And they can't get past this. Pink bad, feminine bad, so why pink feminine movie do good? Brain hurt. Like, it's not difficult. You just need to shift your... It's like your initial premises are fucked up. Pretty sure we turn into glitter rather than dust. Good, you'll never get rid of me. Sume says, yeah, instead I'm here. Huh.
Ryan made this statement, so it was done, it was out, and I couldn't adjust my thinking on it. I just said screw it and run with what I said. But
I'm gonna say, it's pretty nice over the past, I don't even know how many years, seeing, like, since Wolf of Wall Street. Wolf of Wall Street's one of my favorite Scorsese films. Scorsese has a few actual good double features. A good double feature is Goodfellas, and then Wolf of Wall Street. Another one is, this one could go in either order. Taxi Driver and King of Comedy, also good. Not the point, just had to bring that up. But anyway, I was watching Wolf of Wall Street some weeks ago. Margot Robbie is really good in that movie. Margot Robbie is, like, quite good in that film. And I'm not just saying that because she's, like, you know, obviously you've seen the movie. It's not what I'm saying. I mean, really, her performance is good. Excuse me, sorry. I'm having a stomach thing. And it's been funny seeing over whenever Wolf of Wall Street came out. Since then, her star continued to rise, and her getting, you know, proper, like, oh, hey, you know, you're good, accolades and attention for her work, even though, unfortunately, I think she was a good cast for Harley Quinn. Unfortunately, she got scripts that were not great and was in a universe that sucked, but, like, she was good at that, too. But anyway, it's been nice watching her star rise as everyone starts to realize, like, oh, Leonardo DiCaprio's a fucking creep. Like, I'm not telling you can't like Leonardo DiCaprio movies or whatever, but, like, he's clearly a fucking creep of a human being. It's like we all got tricked. I don't know if you guys remember in, like, the early 2000s, 90s or whatever, and it was Leo's Pussy Posse. Like, it was like a thing that people knew him and his friends were, like, scumbags that went around and, like, fucked a bunch of women, which, whatever, people can hook up, that's not a big deal. It just feels like he was very disrespectful to the women that he hooked up with. And then there was, like, a period after Titanic where I think people started to take him more seriously, like, oh, he's an actor, you know? And that stuff kind of fell by the wayside, but as it turns out, oh, he's the same kind of person. He's always been the same kind of person. That's why he keeps dating women in their, like, early mid-20s, even though he's, like, 50 now. Anyway, he's gross. You can still like his movies, though. Shutter Island is good. Wolf of Wall Street. Let me put it this way. Leonardo DiCaprio can be a charismatic guy. He plays a great asshole in Wolf of Wall Street, because I think he's kind of an asshole. Gilbert Grape is certainly an interesting film. I do own What's Eating Gilbert Grape. That is the film in which Leonardo DiCaprio plays a child with learning disabilities. It is... Let's just say, I think it's one of the performances that joke from Tropic Thunder was based off of. Kind of feel like it's that. Isaac Inanimate says, same vibe as growing up to find out that iCarly was produced by pedos. Yeah. Wait, plural? I know about Dan Schneider. I guess I don't know about... I mean, it's Hollywood, so it doesn't surprise me. But I knew about Dan Schneider. I'm not familiar with the others, if there are any. Oh yeah, to be clear, The Suicide Squad is good, and I also liked the Harley Quinn movie. It had problems, but I didn't have a problem with her in that movie. I just feel like she was really handicapped by having so much baggage of being in the DCEU. But The Suicide Squad's a good movie. I really like that movie. It just kind of... I don't know. The universe it's in is weird to me. I'm glad they're rebooting. Reboot the bullshit. Get it over with. As long as Ezra Miller isn't anywhere near this fucking universe. Like, Ezra Miller needs to fuck off. They're just the worst person. Have I seen any of the deposition video of Billy Mitchell in his lawsuit against Twin Galaxies? Carl Jobst released a video about it today. I haven't, and that's actually interesting because I have followed that. I've followed Billy and his bullshit since The King of Kong came out. I love The King of Kong. One of my favorite documentaries. It's a documentary that's pretty heavy-handed in its, let's say, editing-driven narrative. But overall, if anything, my opinion of the movie has gotten better over time, because when I saw King of Kong, even when I was younger, I don't remember exactly when it came out, but I think I was still in high school when that came out, and I saw King of Kong, and it's a great documentary if you haven't seen it. It's about two guys trying to either win or keep the Donkey Kong world record for the arcade game, and there's the hero character, Steve Wiebe, whose name I remember for some reason. Steve Wiebe, whatever. He's just like a teacher. He's just like a normal guy. He's framed as, you know, Joe Everyman, who just wants to play Donkey Kong sometimes, you know, and he can easily break the world record, or he has the possibility, you know. And then there's the villain, the current record holder, Billy Mitchell. If you're not familiar with Billy Mitchell, he is a cartoon character. Let me explain what I mean by that. Billy Mitchell has been, and I know we're on a tangent here, it's fine. I'd say Billy Mitchell counts as a chud. Look at that American tie flag, that's sus. Basically, I'm not making any allegations. I am simply relaying the allegations of others, because Billy is quite litigious. Billy in the 1980s was an actual champion, as much as that meant anything in the 80s, of video gaming, right? He actually did hold records for some arcade games back in the day, legitimately. This was before it would have been easy to cheat. So, like, it does seem like originally in the 80s, 90s, he definitely probably actually did hold some records. And he is a talented game player in terms of those old school arcade games, you know? He could beat any of us in Pac-Man, Donkey Kong Jr., all that kind of stuff, I'm sure Centipede. That's not what we're saying, though. No one is saying he's not a skilled player. The problem is that there have been allegations for years. Oh, the whole movie's on YouTube, of course it is. Billy Mitchell quotes from The King of Kong. For years there have been allegations of him cheating. And I don't know if anyone knows anything about speed running, and arcade things are a little different, but a similar community in that, you know, people care. Like, sure, it seems like something to outsiders that might be trivial, but this is people's passion. This is people's, like, whole lives for some of them is trying to achieve these scores. If you've seen speedrunners online, you know, people can spend months and months and months working on one run, right? Same thing applies for these arcade game people. And there have been allegations for years that Billy was cheating, that he was using altered arcade machines, because you can mod them or change them. There were allegations that he was using MAME, which MAME is a emulator, an arcade emulator, and the way that it loads things in loads differently than the original arcade game. So if you actually freeze frame and, like, frame by frame show, like, oh, what objects in the Donkey Kong board pop in first, you can tell it's MAME by what's popping in. Anyway, he's super upset about this. I believe he had his records revoked from Guinness. And I think he was fired from Twin Galaxies, which is the record keepers that basically got just shit over all of this, because he was working with and for Twin Galaxies at the time. It was like this weird collusion thing, allegedly. Anyway, it's a really, really interesting situation. And he tried to sue Twin Galaxies after he was fired. I don't know the result of that lawsuit. But he's a very litigious guy, and he is just an asshole. So I'm going to play you guys some clips of him, and you'll get the vibe. H-Beard says, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We need to all... Excuse me. I've said it before and I'll say it again. We need to band together and make wearing American flag clothing super gay. If the Chuds don't surrender, we make lifted trucks super gay and then AR-15s. I've thought about this before, too. Like, I was thinking about pride events and just, like, and I understand why this isn't a thing. I'm just using this as a thought experiment. I'm not saying this is really a thing, okay? I'm not saying this is a good idea necessarily, it was just a thought that popped into my head. And that was, what if at pride parades we just had a bunch of American flags? A ton of them. That way when it shows up on the news and stuff, people can't be like, they hate America. They will anyway, but they'll look more absurd to people who are just like centrists who want to grill, who don't know what's going on in the world. They'll be like, what do you mean? I saw a ton of American flags. Because to idiots, American flag means you love your country or that you're a good person. Because America's fucked. I don't know, I just think it'd be funny. But I understand why that's not a thing. I'm just saying strategically, if you wanted to be bereft of honesty and wanted to cynically shift public opinion, it's an idea. Anyway, here are clips of Billy Mitchell being a weirdo. I think these are all from King of Kong.
There'll always be the argument that video games are meant to be played for fun. Believe me, some of it's a lot of fun.
Sorry, it was a little quiet.
There'll always be the argument that video games are meant to be played for fun.
I don't even understand what you mean, the argument. They are made for fun. Don't get me wrong, there is fun in speedrunning or in trying to get a high score, but primarily they are supposed to be fun. I understand at, like, high levels of, like, Major League Gaming or whatever. Is Major League Gaming still a thing? I don't watch esports. I understand that it's more of a job and a competition that you're really into, but the general purpose of games is to be fun. It's kind of in the name.
Believe me, some of it's a lot of fun. Video games are meant to be played at home, relaxing, on a couch, amongst friends, and they are, and that's fun. But competitive gaming, when you want to attach your name to a world record, when you want your name written into history,
your name, and again, this is what I'm saying. This is what's so weird about it. He built his whole life around this. His identity is like a #1 arcade game holder. Like, I remember him being on G4. Maybe it was Tech TV back then. I don't know. Like, he did public appearances. He has a hot sauce company with branding that's like his branding. It even appeared in an Angry Video Game Nerd video.
you have to pay the price.
So, like, if you're into, like, niche, old-school video gaming, you may have heard of this guy even before King of Kong. I had.
I had somebody draw an analogy for me once that I always remembered. The top French pilot in World War I shot down 24 enemy planes. The top American pilot, you don't know his name, do you? Nobody does, but it's Eddie Rickenbacker. Shot down 26 enemy planes. The German ace, the Red Baron, everyone knows who the Red Baron is. That's because he shot down 87 enemy planes. I mean, he was the best. There's a level of difference between people.
It's just, like, he clearly takes himself too seriously. This is the kind of thing, and I see this a lot in right-wing people, too, just to try and relate this back to Chud Watch and talk about the general attitudes that he is just reeking of, and that is taking oneself way too seriously, chat. Never in life take yourself too seriously. It's why I'm comfortable doing this. You know? Things aren't that serious. It's fine. You're fine. Chill out. Enjoy the fact that what you do for a living is play video games. It's just wild, too. He could have continued to live his life and not cheated. He still could have been competitive, at least to a point. Once Twitch and speedrunning came around, all these old records got blown out of the water. Like, even the guy who got the record in King of Kong, spoilers, Steve Wiebe, he's not, I don't even think he's in the top 10 Donkey Kong anymore. Just because younger millennial and Gen Z people, as they came into the world of gaming, just destroyed those records, you know? But either way, I think Steve Wiebe is still in the community of gaming because he seems like a decent guy, at least to what I know. I don't know him personally, so if anything happens, don't be like, you said he's a good guy. I don't know. I only have media impressions, but he doesn't come off like a crazy asshole like this guy does, you know? even though he's not in the top 10 anymore, Steve Wiebe still seems to have connections to the community, whereas Billy has become somewhat of a pariah because of his weird attitudes. It's perfectly fine and okay, and it seems like part of the problem was he wanted to leave. He started cheating when other people started to get good enough to actually beat him, it seems like. And he was early on. He was like a pro gamer in the 80s, so he was early on this train. But if you're like one of the first, let's even draw a comparison, if you're one of the first baseball players in the MLB, you're not going to be able to compete against people playing decades later who were able to look back at the game, how people like you played, and improve upon it. That's all competition is. Like, in any competition, if you look back 20, 30 years, the competition has gotten so much more intense. The entire meta can change. Anyone who plays any game that involves some sort of complex meta, you know what I'm talking about. Like, the entire way that the game is played can change based on new revelations about its functioning. But instead of just fading into the background, maybe taking a more administrative role at Twin Galaxies and being just a personality that's always there, like, hey, I'm Billy Mitchell, remember me? Which would have been fine. Instead, he started cheating because he couldn't handle not being number one. Here's a meme of that AVGN episode. Yeah, this is, I think I've played this clip, but I'll play it again.
You're familiar with Billy Mitchell, world video game champion? He could probably do it. So I gotta find a way to harness his power, and I think I found a way.
That's right, we're gonna cheat.
The original clip was the AVGN drinks some of his hot sauce. That was an edit, for the record. Related? Is this the regular show clip?
This is
remember that. This is stupid. I was gonna get into this too. Let's do it now, I guess. Billy Mitchell was parodied on Regular Show. If you've ever watched Regular Show, you might remember this episode. There was a parody of Billy Mitchell on this show, and I don't know if you guys know this. People can satirize and parody you, especially if you're a public figure. You can absolutely be parodied, and someone can make a satire out of you or whatever, and that's completely legal. But he got mad because they did a satire of him on a children's show on Cartoon Network and tried to sue them. He lost.
Episode of Regular Show where Mordecai and Rigby challenged a floating head to beat his world record? Well, did you know that that floating head is heavily inspired by real-life video game world record holder Billy Mitchell? Well, he tried to sue Cartoon Network because, according to him, they used his likeness without permission. Billy is an interesting character in real.
The judge's position was actually pretty funny. I think there was a line where the judge said something along the lines of, as the, oh god, not prosecutor, plaintiff. As the plaintiff does not possess a large, it was something about, like, you're not a large floating head, or you're not primarily a head with no torso, so no, this is not you, it's a satire. Dumbass. But in legal talk.
Real life. He has held multiple world records on classic video games, as well as being the first person to achieve a perfect score on Pac-Man.
That's true.
He has also appeared
kill screens are interesting.
On the documentary The King of Kong, as well as being a hot sauce seller. Well,
Sorry, I missed the bits. I apologize. Sume says, what in the hell are you talking about, Hannah? My life is no laughing matter. My existence here is serious business. I only rickroll for serious reasons. I do it because if I don't, everyone will lose their minds. You know the rules, and so do I. I hate when you actually kind of make me, like, laugh inside. Hurts me. Viscerally.
Pleased to know that this man was not too fond of his tribute in Regular Show, which leads us directly.
It's funny too because they didn't even pick a game that's similar to Donkey Kong. It looks like it's Sight Bike.
To the lawsuit,
which to my knowledge was never an arcade game. That's an NES game.
Luckily, a judge dismissed the case since they ruled that Billy Mitchell is in fact not a floating head that explodes when he loses, and therefore his appearance in the show was protected by free speech laws. Funnily enough, years later, Billy's world records were contested after it was discovered that he may have cheated to obtain his world records in the first place.
It's actually really sad, too. I think one of the people... Am I wrong on this? I should check before I'm sure. Oh, the PP show's live. Oof. Yeah. Unfortunately, was this even the guy who broke the story? He had to deal with lawsuits and stuff. It's really fucked up. This guy covered tons of speedrunning stuff. He helped break the stories on Billy, as well as some of Billy's friends. And unfortunately, this guy, and I watched this guy too. It's the weird parasocial nature of the internet, but this guy Apollo Legend, unfortunately, took his own life some years ago after already,
for the most part,
after already dealing with like a bunch of bullshit from Billy. So I'm not going to say that Billy Mitchell is the reason Apollo Legend ended his own life, but I can't imagine all the legal bullshit Billy put him through helped. Okay.
And it translates into some games. If I have all this good fortune, if everything's rolling my way, if all these balls have bounced in my favor, there's some poor bastard out there.
This is just all my opinion, by the way. None of this is concrete fact or claims about the legal nature of anything. Just stating my personal opinion as protected under the First Amendment.
Who's getting the screws put to him? No matter what I say.
My opinion is that Billy is a scumbag. Yes, I think he's a scumbag. I think he's awful.
It draws controversy.
I think he gives mullets a bad name, which is pretty impressive.
It's sort of like the abortion.
Like, the bar was already pretty low, and somehow he still squeaked under it.
Issue.
Like Hermes Conrad at the Olympics.
If you're for it, you're a son of a gun. If you're against it, you're a son of a gun. I'm not God. I don't have all the answers. So I have to be careful how I share my opinions. Brian Koo is there. He knows everything
Just
to do.
never take yourself this seriously. It's so bad. You start thinking you're some kind of maniacal villain. You start thinking you're Machiavellian. You think you're a stoic when in reality you're just too self-serious. It's not good. Just be normal. Not even normal. Don't give a shit about normal. Normal is weird anyway. I don't even like the term normal. I try and use normative these days because I understand that there is a need to talk about, like, the biggest part of the bell curve when we're talking about behavior. So, like, normative, I understand. Normal, whatever. Doesn't matter. I just feel like a lot of the problems people have is don't ever let your ego get so big that you are incapable of thinking you are wrong. Never allow yourself to think you're always right. Never get to the point where you never doubt yourself. Don't get me wrong, an excess of self-doubt can be crippling and bad and destructive, but always be aware, like, hey, am I doing the right thing here? Morally, factually, could I be wrong? Can I falsify whatever, like, initial premises that have brought me to this conclusion or point where I'm taking this action? Having a sense of humor about yourself, I think, is indicative of an ego that isn't easily bruised, in my experience. Sume says, no idea what you're talking about, Hannah. My plan to take over the stream is entirely normal and doesn't at all involve a long series of steps that results in a coup by the people carrying me into the presidency. I mean, the hosting of the stream. I'm pretty sure I'm safe. Wait, this is Twitch. Can I say? In a sanctioned boxing match, I think I could take Daddy Sume. Maybe not MMA, but I've seen Rocky enough times. I could stop this coup attempt.
Do with the tape.
Oh my god, is there an Andrew Tate fan in the chat? That would be fucking hilarious.
He knows.
Yeah, the normal being ableist, that's one of the reasons I try and say normative. There are connotations that aren't great.
To guard the tape with his life. I explained to him he could lose his life.
Do you support Andrew Tate? Is this another one of the Bed Bath & Beyond chuds? Because this is low effort, if you say so, Bottom. Funny. I'll beat you up in this outfit. In a sanctioned match.
But don't lose the tape. Not even
I can't even threaten you. You're just into it. God damn it.
I don't know if Troy had that much attention. World Record Headquarters, can I help you?
World Record Headquarters. What an ass.
I have people ask me what my handle is, what my 3 initials are. I mean, come on. I tell people, look at me.
BM, Billy Mitchell.
What do you think my 3 initials were?
I know what he's gonna say. I remember. He always put his initials in the thing as USA, I think, right? He's not wearing the American flag tie, though.
If you don't know, you're not looking hard enough.
TIE?
No.
USA!
Which one was I wearing yesterday?
The American.
USA?
USA. So I had...
It's a genuine question and an attempt to challenge my initial premise. No, I don't like Andrew Tate, as he is an alleged sex trafficker and R-wordist. I've also seen video of him beating the crap out of someone. I've seen videos and covered him talking about how he beats his quote-unquote girlfriends, who in reality are just women that he's trafficked. He's an awful human being.
Latin friends.
But again, I understand you're trolling anyway. But I will use it as an opportunity to call out Tate, because I have no problem doing that. I've covered him before. Like when the time he said he thought he could beat up Spider-Man, a fictional character.
I had Canadian friends, and I always had to keep the Americans on top.
Excuse me, guy. I got a celebrity in the car here. Can I cut in front of you?
Well, maybe they'd like it if I lose. I gotta try losing sometime.
Is Tate banned on Twitch? Genuinely asking, because he has been posting new videos while he's awaiting trial, and I would like to cover them.
Does this have my name on the back or something? What does it say?
Thanks, Chaotic Kitten.
It says, you have a yearning for perfection.
This guy reminds me of my dad. So much ego. You thought Tate was charged? He has been charged, but he's awaiting trial. And I think he has house arrest while he's awaiting trial. I checked his channel today. He's posting.
Oh, Billy Mitchell always has a plan.
It's annoying when somebody's ahead of you. You know, when you're not the lead dog, the view doesn't change. And I always wanted the view, so.
Can we go over the comic he had commissioned where he beat up Spider-Man? Maybe. Hold on. Let me see if there are interviews I didn't see with the Andrew Tate thing. Oh, God. Tucker Carlson interviewed Andrew Tate? I don't even want to know the amount of apologia that went on in that bullshit. Disgusting. Okay. I'll have to look at that stuff another time once I can actually vet it. Anyway, back to the chuds who didn't like Barbie. Which is fine. To be clear, it's fine to not like Barbie. You don't have to like the movie, but their opinions on it are clearly just weird and based on the fact that they're mad that something that they perceive as woke is making money.
With that in mind,
do I remember when Andrew Tate was just another random chud we watched and now everyone knows him? I know. Makes you wonder. Chat, who are we watching today that will be a discussion of national news tomorrow? I seem to be good at sniffing these people out.
will the word of mouth be enough?
I'm gonna go with Ragin' Rob. Ragin' Rob might actually do something someday. He seems the type.
Cut this out
allegedly
at the very least in the next week.
Chili also
will
seems
the
like
people
he's probably
who
not
want
okay.
to still see this, who are
I heard this. I don't know if this is true, but I did hear that there might be investigations into Chili DeCastro for the illegal practice of law, the unlicensed practice of law in several states. So that would be interesting.
Who haven't been lied to, we'll get to the lies in a second, who have not bought into the lie. Will they...
What about Cece? Cece's just going to impotently rage for the rest of his life. I don't think he's going to do anything.
They still go see it? Or have all the wine moms, soy boys, and...
Wine moms, soy boys. Wow, apparently studios need to start making movies for the wine mom, soy boy demographic. If, like, it's so funny to me. Like the idea that a studio would ever be like, wow, that made a lot of money, but it didn't make money from people we personally like. Like, that's not how it works. The movie made money. Studios are going to look at this and go, oh, let's do more of this.
Certain others who were going to go see this, has that already, did they max it out in this first weekend? And what will...
Probably not. Like, the drop-offs between the Thursday night previews and throughout the weekend were not bad. And I know a ton of people who are still talking about it. Like, just the fact that we're here in this stream, and a large part of this stream has been us talking about the Chud reaction to it, should tell you that it's kind of out and about in the zeitgeist. People are talking about Barbie. Like, the point that they even have to have this discussion, they've already lost whatever perceived culture war bullshit they're going on about.
Will drop off, because it will be a drop off, because this isn't gonna, it's not gonna gain, it will have a drop off, but will it be
What happened to the Chud?
a normal drop off? Like,
Did they get banned, or are they just being quiet? That's uncharacteristic. Especially from a Tate fan.
Or will it be higher than that because of the vitriol that we are talking about? Now we shift to the...
Oh, scroll up, they did message? Let me look. What color was it, maybe? Maybe I just didn't... Oh, there we go. I don't believe his teachings are violent, nor do I agree with everything he says, but I believe he has a lot of positive messages which address the social issue of disenfranchised young men. This is the weirdest argument for me, or that I've heard, rather. Sorry. Tate, at best, gives you generic self-help advice, like, hey, maybe work out sometimes, which you can do if you'd like. But he's also, I'm just gonna say it, he's a fucking rapist. He's a rapist and a sex trafficker. It would be like saying, oh, Jeffrey Epstein, sure, he did some bad stuff, but have you seen his stock tips? Like, it's irrelevant. What are you talking about? Like, if you are a person who is saying, oh, I don't like that Andrew Tate is a literal sex trafficker who has raped and beat women, but sometimes he has good advice, as if there's not people in the world who could be positive role models for you that aren't rapists? Like, are you a psycho? Like, do you think you're doing anything here other than just making yourself look like a jackass? Let me tell you what. If Andrew Tate is your idol, you have a really bleak future. And if that's your choice, that's your choice. But I am telling you, if you model your personality, if you model your behavior after the advice of Andrew Tate, you will ruin your life. And that's your business. You're allowed to do that. Maps and Mimic says, is it done? My dude, I couldn't get 2 tickets to a showing Monday night because all 6 showings from 6:10 to 9:45 were sold out. We had to get tickets for this Friday and they were already half full. Oh yeah, the word of mouth on Barbie's been really good. Like, I've heard, like I said, nothing but good things other than, like, Ben Shapiro being salty about it, which, of course, he doesn't realize is good marketing. Like, the fact that there were, like, Ben Shapiro was trending for his stupid Barbie video, like, everyone's like, oh, that's hilarious, because the general public knows that Ben Shapiro's a fucking idiot.
After we answer that, then let's shift to the false, essentially what is false advertising for this movie here. So,
teaching how to be entrepreneurs is a bad thing? Andrew Tate isn't an entrepreneur. He's a sex trafficker who is part of an organized crime group that also laundered money. He isn't giving you good advice, and him teaching people to drop ship isn't being an entrepreneur. It's bullshit. If you have given a dime to Andrew Tate, you are the mark. If you have given a penny to Andrew Tate, you are the mark. You are the person he's tricking in to get money from. You have been tricked. And even if you haven't, your viewership gives him money. Ugh. Windchanter says, Andrew Tate is not in the business of curing incels. If he did, they'd stop paying for his course and worshipping his Bugatti. Don't worry, he doesn't have Bugattis anymore. The government took them.
Well, I would love to say yes. I would love to sit here and say the word of mouth is going to annihilate this movie and make it...
The word of mouth has been really good, though.
It drops 70%. But I don't believe that's true, because the word of mouth, the negative word of mouth, is primarily within our sphere. If you look at Rotten Tomatoes, if you look at Twitter, if you look at just general audience members, they're eating Barbie up. They are loving it. I know a woman who went to see it, who cried leaving the theater and said it's the movie she needed. It was the one that...
Tate has already been charged with the rape charge, sir. Just for the record.
She needed in her...
You're correct in that he hasn't been found guilty yet, but he also hasn't been found innocent, and the evidence as it stands that we have looked at on this channel shows that he is most likely guilty, We have heard him, like, you've picked the worst audience. I was covering Andrew Tate and his videos long before he was publicly known about in this big news story. In my channel, you can go back and find me covering his old videos where he talks about beating his girlfriends, how he thinks women shouldn't speak, shouldn't have the right to vote, how he, like, does all sorts of fucked up stuff.
For life. That is a common reaction, especially among certain women. So the word of mouth is resoundingly positive, with the exception of the hyper-political anti.
Let's see. Andrew Tate, charged with rape and human trafficking. Wow. Crazy. Who could have thought? Controversial influencer Andrew Tate has been charged in Romania with rape, human trafficking, and forming an organized crime group to sexually exploit women. His brother Tristan and 2 associates also face charges. All have denied the allegations. The Tate brothers appeared in court for the first time on Wednesday. As he left the country, Andrew Tate said, "I love this country and look forward to being found innocent." The brothers were first arrested at their Bucharest home in December before being moved to house arrest in March. The indictment deposited with the Bucharest court says that the 4 defendants formed an organized criminal group in 2021 to commit human trafficking in Romania, but also in other countries, including the US and the UK. It names 7 alleged victims who said they were recruited by Tate brothers through false premises of love and marriage. This is called the lover boy technique, a known technique in fucking human trafficking. Old news! You fucking idiot! Oh. Alright. You can ban him. He's just trying to cause shit.
Woke sphere,
Thank
as
you.
some people call it. The culture war.
That's old news. No. No, he's currently going to be on trial for it. He's on house arrest, you stupid cunt. No wonder you fall for Andrew Tate's schemes. You're a fucking idiot. Go give him more money, though. I'm sure that'll work out for you.
Sphere. That's the primary place where the negative.
Here's some advice. Find some positive male influences who aren't awful people. So no one who's right-wing.
Word of mouth exists. Mainstream media sites, access media sites are loving it. Rotten Tomatoes, the audience score is in the 90s. And
wow, it's almost like people like the fucking movie. Look at the guy in the bottom left. He's so dejected. Oh, it's covered right now. Let's see. Sume says, like me, I'm a great male role model. BBBY is going nuts. Exec heading out the door had a LinkedIn post that scared the apes. Some bag holders may actually be cracking. Can't wait for the next BBBY stream. Ooh, do you have a link or a screenshot of anything? What is this? Someone sent? Page not found. That link didn't work for some reason.
Twitter, it's trending organically with resounding praise. The word of mouth is, as a general, incredibly positive. So I think we're looking at a traditional 50% drop. As much as I wish it would die in a...
Listen to him, he's so mad! As much as I wish it would die! It's a Barbie movie, fellas. Are you okay? Do you maybe need some therapy? I'd recommend it. LinkedIn from 20 minutes ago. Bart, Siegel? Don't know. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing. Goodbye, BBBY. What a ride the last 8 months have been. We've learned so much and our team's accomplished so much. 5 thoughts. 1. Fond farewell to Bed Bath & Beyond and bye-bye baby. Today is the last day of work for most corporate employees, including me. All of our stores will be closed by the end of the weekend. 2. Talent, talent, talent. If you need some phenomenal talents, we have a few thousand resumes for you. Seriously, the team here has been so great. If you need people at any level for any function, corporate or stores, please check out our departing associates. Ask me for ideas. End of big box specialty era. Bed Bath & Beyond invented and is synonymous with specialty big box retailing, also called category killers. Many, but not all of the specialty big box players have succumbed to a changing world. Linens and Things, Toys R Us, Circuit City, Borders, Sports Authority, and more. Yes, there's a whole book to be written about this. Oh boy. They're definitely fucking pissed. Holy shit, this is amazing. We almost got the turnaround here at BBBY to work. We did the really hard thing to shrink our store footprint and our expense base, but in retail, once a decline sets in, it's very hard to stem the tide. Oh, boy. I'm seeing if there's anything else. I don't think there's anything else important, necessarily. They did talk about the acquisition of the IPs by Overstock and Dream on Me. That's funny. That's so funny. What are they saying? Seems like the Trust Me Bro was right about the mass termination. Spicy. Spicy? Oh, God. These people are out of their goddamn minds. Maps and Mix with another link. I can't. I've heard that clip before with the Andrew Tate admitting to the assault, and I don't want to listen to it again. Mr. Whiskers, thanks for 18 months, says just one more good hard push, and there it is, our second sub-child. This baby's name is Ken. MH Darkbeast says, just saw this. I'm shocked it isn't a real this isn't a real commercial.
What we've done to be #1 in education freedom.
Ron DeSantis knows the importance of a good education.
But with this new bill I've signed, you ain't seen.
GamerG says, thoughts on the over-under on BBYQ doing a desperate atrocity. I think it's less than 0%. I think you missed bits in the midst of us dunking on the Chud. Sorry, I'll look. I don't know, it's possible, but... No, I don't think I missed any. Puka says, heading out, have some parting bits just cuz. Oh, thank you.
Seen nothing yet.
Now Floridians are able to enroll at Ron DeSantis' slave trade school. Find out how easy it is to learn from home, just not your home, for a career in exciting fields such as...
being a blacksmith.
Slaves did develop skills while they were enslaved and then used those skills as blacksmiths, as in agriculture, carpentry.
Who got the benefits of that labor, sir? What happened when they made these things? Who got the money for it?
Tailoring, painting, domestic service,
I
transportation.
fucking hate these people.
In the shipping business.
They listed everything out, and if you have any questions about it, just ask the Department of Education.
Or get your degree. You can major in rewritten history or generational trauma. Call now.
You should talk to them about it. I mean, I didn't do it.
Good lord.
Ditch. Sad and alone, just like most of these women will end up with their 50 cats, but that's not how it's gonna go, I don't think.
So fucking salty! All these women who like Barbie are gonna end up alone with cats. Cats are cool. I would rather be with any amount of cats than any amount of people like this. What the fuck?
Jay, you're in pain.
GamerG says, I'm not responsible for the Department of Education. What do you think I am, the governor?
This movie is going to make an unspeakable amount of money. It's going to kill me inside to see it happen.
Across $1 billion.
It's...
you think $1 billion?
I don't think it'll hit $1 billion. I don't think that. I don't think it has that kind of legs.
I hope it does, please.
The credit, I think a lot of people that wanted to see the movie have seen it. Looking at the numbers alone, for it to make this type.
Anecdotal. Me and Baja want to see it. Haven't gotten a chance to see it yet. Anecdotal, but just saying. Mr. Whiskers says, I'm at the Grand Floridian in Disney World right now, and every gift shop still has the Pride sections up. They have to be doing it to piss DeSantis off. Also, LGBTQIA plus people just also like Disney, generally.
Type of money after a summer of abysmal box office, I think everybody that really was itching to see this film has seen it. Now, for as far as
that was too general. I should say there was a contingent in the queer community that very much likes Disney, because a lot of the time Disney animated features back in the day, and even live action features, would have gay subtext.
The mouth is going to go. I don't think that's what's actually selling this film. I think the marketing is selling this film, and I think the wine moms will tell their other wine moms to go see this movie.
They're so derisive of the audience for this movie. Oh my god. Surely the popularity of this movie doesn't say anything about our worldview. It must say that all the people watching it are bad.
I don't think children are kicking the door down to try to watch this movie.
It's a PG-13 movie, I think. I genuinely don't know. I haven't been to the theater, so I don't know what the demographics are of this movie. Don't know how many people were bringing their kids. I would imagine a lot. I would imagine a lot of children are seeing this movie, since it is a movie about a children's toy.
Even the theater that I was drugged to, I didn't see a lot of children.
It's not a kid's movie. It's not a kid's
movie. I did
movie.
not see a lot of children.
It's PG-13. Oh shit, I skipped around. Sorry.
Resoundingly positive, with the exception of the hyper-political, anti-woke sphere, as some people call it, primarily within our sphere.
Be enough to cut this out at the angles. It wasn't made for men. It was made for the wine.
Where were we?
I think we're looking at a traditional 50% drop.
Okay, we're
Everybody that really was
There we
itching to
go.
see this film has seen it. Now,
good news. Oh god, what is it? Conversion therapy for LGBTQIA plus minors has been banned in Michigan under 2 pieces of legislation signed by Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Fucking lovely. Wonder if she's gonna try and run for president one of these days. If she does, I'll vote for her.
Now, for as far as word of mouth is going to go, I don't think that's what's actually selling this film. I think the marketing is selling this film, and I think
that's what marketing does generally.
Wine moms will tell their other wine moms to go see this movie. I don't think children are kicking the door down to try to watch this movie. Even the theater that I was drugged to, I didn't see a lot of children.
It's not a kid.
What time did you see the movie?
It's a movie.
It's not. I did not see a lot of children. I saw maybe 2 families and some other begrudging husbands crying in their own hands like myself. But everyone else was pretty much just older women. Like,
okay, even if that's true, older women can have money and spend that money and make a movie popular. What is your point? It's like their entire argument is this doesn't count because women are the people buying tickets. This doesn't count is basically their argument. And I don't even know if they realize that's the argument they're making. It's this doesn't matter because women are the ones buying tickets. Okay? The audience is allowed to be majority women. And that was always allowed. I don't understand.
40s and 50s and maybe some in their 30s. I did not see.
I don't trust this guy's ability to gauge anyone's age. Any woman's age, I don't believe him. Bumble Homestead says, my money doesn't count because perimenopause.
Girls there. So I think maybe this second weekend, I think it's going to have a major drop based on how much money this joint made this weekend. I don't think there's going to be another $200 million next weekend. I don't think that's going to happen. So I think it's going to have a colossal drop because of how much money it made this weekend. I think it's still
if it has a high percentage drop, that don't really matter when you have such a massive opening.
Exactly. So I think by percentages, I'm looking at 60%.
As a fan,
60% just because of how much money this film made this weekend. But I still think it's going to make some more money next weekend.
It's in profit by next week.
Yeah, next weekend.
I'm pretty sure it's already in profit.
This joint will be in profit, depending on depending on the advertising budget. Now, the advertising budget, like I said, I think it's $75 million. So I am, if I'm going to do those numbers, I'm going to go and say break evens at $500 million. So.
Marcus Drake says, silly Hannah, so-called wine moms aren't a demographic. Unrelated. Who made Oprah a billionaire? I understand. I've made that comparison before, and I think that was unfair of me.
I'm gonna say break even is $500 million. If that advertising budget is there, because this is the most advertising I have seen in 25 years.
Really? Not like Avengers or The Flash or... God, I no. I just think no.
Dye a volcano smoke pink too? Swear to God, I saw that.
Everything is pink.
Swear to God, I saw that.
Did he see a satire article and thought it was real.
Adam, everything is pink.
This guy cried over having to watch Barbie. His performative masculinity just makes him look more weak. I saw Battlefield Earth in the theaters, and I just rolled my eyes a lot. What, you don't like Dutch angles? When you were learning to spell your name, I was being trained to conquer galaxies.
If
you're gonna do a remake, hit me up.
Was watching UFC.
That's not pink. That's not pink.
And they're saying sponsored by Barbie.
Okay. And?
Somebody's face was kicked off, and the next thing you know, it's Barbie.
Do you think, first of all, men can see Barbie. Even if they don't personally want to watch it, many men have families. Families with wives, or daughters, or maybe even sons that want to go see the movie. This idea that, like, why do you have pink thing advertised in my sports? Do you think no women watch MMA? The fuck is wrong with you? Please get out of your weird gender expectation box. Bizarre.
Time. I don't know what to say. I will never go see.
I mean, Kale's in our sphere. Kale has her head on straight, but I don't. I'm sitting on the fence a little bit on this one, and I know it's not good when I do that. You guys want me to have a hard take on it, but I lean to each side of this, where I think there will be some damage from word of mouth. Some. Not significant, but some from it, because the next part of the discussion with the false advertising, moving to that, I think that will
false advertising
have some effect, because from my general observance of this and looking at it, this movie had the potential just to be a silly satire.
My understanding is that's basically what it is. Do you know what a satire is? Satire, by definition, involves social or political commentary. Like, do you read Gulliver's Travels and just think, haha, so funny, with no relation to anything in the real world ever? Like, are you dumb? Do you know what satire is?
And if they had just played into that and gone full comedic and not agenda'd it up. It probably would have hit with everybody then.
Yes.
It kind of already is doing really well, and Chuds were going to be mad no matter what, because it's a film that's told from a female point of view, basically, and I don't think you guys like that.
And you could have just laughed it off, and we would be left with, you know, with our hands on our asses going, okay, whatever, we're not going to talk about this now, all right, fine.
I mean, that is already basically what you're doing, except you sound stupider for being mad about it.
Move on. Made money, yay, we're done. I mean, we wouldn't have anything to talk about, but Jet, they did.
But now they had political commentary, and they're still making hundreds of millions of dollars. I can't believe this. Now we have to bitch about it.
Market this differently than what the actual movie is. I mean, I've heard I know the story, I've heard it all, and if
Xandris, thanks for gifting a sub.
We're gonna spoil the shit out of this now, probably, as we talk about it.
This is weirder than the Ghostbusters reboot, because, like, at least the Ghostbusters 2016 reboot, the movie wasn't, like, very good, and wasn't generally, like, liked by audiences overall. I'm not saying there's a problem if you like that movie. I don't like it. I don't think that style of, like, improv comedy works for Ghostbusters. Like, I don't think it's funny, but, like, whatever. They at least had, like, oh, the movie didn't make money and people don't generally like it. This is a movie that's doing very well and is very popular, and they're still acting the same way, and it's so weird. This isn't even like, and again, one of their criticisms, and I know they're arguing in bad faith, so it doesn't matter. It frustrates me, though, that they have, every single time one of these things happens, Ghostbusters 2016, or whatever, Avengers movies having, like women characters in them that have agency, like Captain Marvel. Every time this happens, they go, oh, why do you gotta bring this into a boy thing? Why don't you make your own movies, do your own stuff? And now they made a Barbie movie, which is very much demographically, traditionally for girls and women who used to play with them when they were girls. And they're still mad? They're still mad. Like, what the fuck? What are you even mad about? Women's stories existing in public offends me. All right, fuck off. Fuck off then. That's a you problem. To be clear, the things that they said were bullshit then too. Just, you know, at least they couldn't. It was harder to call them out as hypocrites. Very easy still, but harder. Now it's like, what are you doing? Tea with Goblin says, I just got into stream and I already know that these chuds are talking about Barbie. Boys, lads, gents, mates, gathered sirs and precious princelings. If your masculinity isn't fragile, why is it so easily threatened by a film about a pretty pink dolly? Oh.
It's not a silly, fun comedy. It's an agenda beast.
It's an agenda beast.
Patriarchy's literally...
However, they loved Sound of Freedom, which has no agenda.
The villain.
Yeah.
Literally. Not just, oh, it's kind of bad man, evil man. Drake can speak to this. People I know lost count about how many times they said the word patriarchy.
You can't. You can't count the amount of times.
You probably could. Fenny Kagami says, as chat's pet token cis-het white man, can I just say that this is such a pathetic display of fragile masculinity that it's staggering. I'm insecure enough in my masculinity that wearing nail polish gave me light dysphoria. I cringe at girl stuff. I still find this unbelievably pathetic.
You cannot count how many times the word patriarchy is said. I felt my eyes rolling into the back of my spine.
That must have been very difficult for you. I'm glad you survived.
I was so frustrated because, like, and my wife said the same thing. She was like, why couldn't they just make something fun and weird? That's what I said. And she made that, and my wife, and she is not in the creative sphere on any level whatsoever.
It doesn't surprise me that you found a wife that isn't very, like, conscious of feminist ideology, because she married you, so that's not, like, surprising to me. Sume says, what if he is a token cis-het, then what the hell am I? I don't know. Lewd?
Whoever. This is the plot that she told that it should have been. She said, and I quote, all of the discontinued Barbies that were in the film should have been the villains. And they want to take over all the new Barbie spaces.
It's easy.
That's not the story they wanted to tell, though. If they wanted to tell that story, they might have made less money. But right now they're making the most money of any movie right now, including Christopher Nolan's new film Oppenheimer. So, what are you mad about?
Perfect. It's perfect! In every way, shape, or form. My wife said that in 30 seconds.
I go up, like I said, I'm with what Jed was saying and what Ryan is saying, that our wailings, our warnings are not really going to be heard. But then...
Shocking. Continue to shout impotently into the internet for our entertainment, though. I do love it. Tea with Goblin says, without spoiling anything, Barbie literally goes to the lengths to affirm that Ken, as a man, does not need to be special or extraordinary or dominant in order to be valuable. Boys, you are Kenough.
You hear what Dre's talking about, the only one here who has actually seen it, talking about what's on there. When you hear, I think there will be a
like, have they never had a scenario where there was a movie that was popular whose themes ran contrary to their own? Like, that literally can't be true, right? Like literally, I'm trying to think, what movies do I own or like that maybe run contrary to some of my political ideation? Huh. I don't know if I have any up here. But I know I've seen movies where I've been like, oh, Ghostbusters. That's actually a good point. Ghostbusters is a good example since we were talking about it. 300, another good one. 300. I enjoy the filmmaking in that movie, although it's kind of weird, and it is interesting. Now, Starship Troopers is a satire of fascism. It's good. But 300 is pretty much a pro-fascist movie. But, like, it's not a terrible movie, really. It's a Zack Snyder movie, so it's not really great. But it's visually kind of interesting in some segments. Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters has a very libertarian outlook. Ghostbusters has an incredibly libertarian outlook. It's the story of like 3 guys leaving academia who didn't appreciate their work and then opening a small business and becoming huge. And then government regulators come in and, like, almost kill everyone. And now the private sector Ghostbusters have to come in and fix the problem that the government bureaucrats created. It's a very 80s movie in terms of its ideology, but, like, I'm able to look past that because it's a funny movie. You know? Like, you can see themes that you don't agree with and still like a movie, or even if you don't like it, you just go, oh, well, I didn't like that movie, and you move on.
But when people are going to hear what actually goes on in this movie, that word about that it's not what, I mean, now, okay, the extremes have spoken. The extremes have gone to see this on their end. The ones who love this, the ones who are crying and happy that they're post-op. Then there are the other ones, and happy that they're post-op. Then
did he just say what I think he said? Forrest Espion says, I almost feel for the black dude. I bet money his friends say racist things about him when he's not around. In my life, I'm Mexican. I've seen black people, Asian, Mexicans, or any non-right-wingers try to fit in with right-wingers. It usually ends with backstabbing and one-sided friendships. Thoughts, Hannah? It's potentially true. I don't know, though.
and there are the other ones, like us.
Yeah, it sounded like he said post-op, which is an implication that all the women seeing Barbie are trans, which is literally impossible based on the number of trans women in the country versus cis women, but also wouldn't be insulting? Like, what the fuck? Harold Elbelman says, what pisses me off is that the asshole in the bottom left is old enough to own original FUBU gear. If you don't know, FUBU stands for Us, By Us. It was a black company making clothing for black people because white companies weren't listening to and capitalizing on that part of the market back then. FUBU made fuck tons of money, which shocked white people and opened doors for black voices in fashion. Now Barbie is a for women by women movie, and the brother is stumped. Yeah, it makes me wonder if we're going to see more. We're in a weird spot right now with the strikes and everything, and the several like failures or disappointments from studios even before the strike. So I'm curious, are they going to see Barbie and go, okay, we need to do more projects that have a woman's point of view, or has more of the woman demographic in mind in shaping the project? What are they going to take away from this? Probably something stupid. Because they usually do. But maybe they'll see women as a more desirable demographic to make films for. Who knows? Chuds don't understand that when the left doesn't hate a movie for being problematic, all movies are problematic. We tend to hate problematic movies when they're bad movies. Aldred Undying says, their round table stuff is driving me up the wall. I need you to know that the Arthurian fandom I am in is very gay and trans. That's good.
We're saying, okay, yeah, we warned you. We warned all of you. This is what it is.
We warned you. We warned you that this movie would make almost $1 billion.
Extremes have said their point. Now we're heading to Normieville. The normie train.
If you're expecting normies to be mad about, like, milquetoast liberal feminism in a movie, you're gonna be so fucking disappointed. Like, they're fine. It's corporate-approved Warner Brothers feminism. Like, I'm sure it's entertaining and fine, but I don't think it's anything that fucking extreme.
Is now going to have to care.
My understanding is the message is basically, hey, no one should be treated poorly because of their gender. That's not an extreme view. That's like second-wave feminism shit. Third-wave feminism shit, arguably. Like, this is not... this is not hardcore extremist viewpoint.
Carry this forward. Because I don't think the normies were seeing us on opening weekend. It was us and them. Both the polar opposite sides are the ones who've seen this. Now it's here come the normies. If they are bait and switch, just like One Punch Man Token fan just said, the bait and switch, if they fall for it, if they're not listening to us and they're only listening maybe to a couple out there weirdos, and they don't know what walking into, when
the couple out there, Weirdos, that made the movie more than $300 million over the weekend.
normies go see this, and they don't get their fun, wacky, zany comedy that they think they're gonna get. That's just kind of hamming it up in the Barbie world. And
like, I don't know what the rest of the year is gonna look like. Let me look real quick. Movies for the rest of the year. Cassifel says, I demand an all-trans woman remake of Star Wars, but Darth Vader is a chud who farts constantly and shits himself after each fight. Sold. Okay, I'm trying to see what else comes out for the rest of the year. Looks like Blue Beetle, which is tracking to do quite poorly. The Marvels, which might underperform considering Marvel projects have been less popular lately. They've gotten worse reviews. Audiences, I think, definitely seem kind of over going to see superhero movies, so I don't think the Marvels will do as good as the first Captain Marvel, but I could be wrong. Maybe a similar situation to Barbie will happen in that because it's a movie maybe more catered towards women, you'll see women go out because it's different than seeing, like, Shang-Chi or some other movie like that. They'll lose their mind with the new Tom Holland movie. Yeah, is he playing, like, a gay guy in that or something? I'm not seeing any movies that are giant throughout the rest of the year, unless I'm missing something. There's that Napoleon movie, which will probably be good, but it's not going to do numbers. It's a historical costume drama. I don't know. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will probably do decent. Five Nights at Freddy's is pretty niche. I think it'll do okay, but I don't know if it'll... Either way, I'm pretty sure by the end of the year, Barbie will probably be in the top 5 films financially, and I think it has a chance at being, like, at least number 3. Like, I don't even know. We had Avatar earlier in the year, which did crazy numbers, but, like, generally speaking, I gotta imagine Barbie's gonna be top 5. Anyone trying to frame this as a failure is just pathetically coping. It's crazy. Forrest Espion says, funny thing in the Furby collectors and customizers community I'm part of looks at Barbie positively, and we hope for a Furby movie with every cutely unholy type of Furby. Hannah, did you like Furby as a kid? What did you think of Furby? I had a Furby. I did not like the Furby. Furbies are weird. They creep me out. I did get a friend a Furby in high school because she wanted it for Christmas, so I got her a eBay Furby. I personally find Furbies weird and creepy.
They get this agenda.
Sume says, remember, my brothers, you are Knuff, and my sisters, you are Barbalicious. We are all valued.
Driven mess. Will that bad word of mouth hit the...
How did Guardians of the Galaxy 3 do? It did okay. I think that's mostly because some people don't even watch the Marvel movies as a whole, but watch Guardians of the Galaxy because that series is just quite good. But I think that movie did alright. It did better than Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Normie, the normie bar.
Yeah.
And then will that take away from it? That's why I'm saying both sides have merits to this, and now we got to see where the normies go, and then will that play into my theory that
Tea with Goblin says, I will accept a Furby movie only if it is directed by Panos Cosmatos or the Soska sisters. Panos Cosmatos. Why does that sound... That sounds familiar.
Always posed this week.
Did he didn't do Gremlins 2, did he?
Will word of mouth affect this?
From what I've been hearing, if you're a guy...
Minute left to start a hype train.
You've seen it, you obviously are not gonna like it.
Guardians 3 is currently the number 2 movie this year. Barbie will surpass it. Mario weighed out in front with 1.3 billion. Mario's probably going to end up number 1. I don't know what else throughout the rest of the year could possibly beat that. Could be wrong. Surprises happen, of course, but I don't know. I'm thinking Mario's probably number 1. Bumble Homestead says, my Doxy also hated Furby. My Furby had to be rehomed because my dog said it was of the devil. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub. Forrest Espion with 100 bits says, what color was your Furby? Come on, Hannah, Furbies are cute and pure. It was gray with a white belly. Nemesaur, thanks for gifting 10 tier 1 subs and getting us over level 1 in the hype train.
Furby.
Oh god. Oh god. I don't like that. Where did the video go? There they are.
I've heard
Dread Pirate Mick with 100 bits says Barbie may have single-handedly saved a lot of executive-level jobs at Warner Brothers after The Flash was one of the biggest box office bombs in history. Last I checked, The Flash was actually the most loss on a single film Warner Brothers has ever had. I don't think that's accounting for inflation, so, you know, bear in mind. But that's still pretty fucking bad.
very mixed reviews from women that have seen it,
Any movie ever? Oh god.
Some said it was alright, some said that they felt a bit uncomfortable with a lot of the messaging that was in it. But I would also argue and say that Barbie has always been a feminist.
Barbie has always been, and I know that sounds so weird to these people probably, but you gotta understand that what is considered feminist changes as time goes on. As we progress, the bar gets higher, right? Until we've reached equity, until we've reached equality, justice, whatever you want to call it. So, yes, in the 1950s or whenever, when Barbie came out, it was feminist, because up until that point, dolls for girls were often baby dolls. The most common doll for little girls was baby dolls, and this is sort of a role-play toy that teaches girls, like, oh, your role as a mother, as a caretaker. Barbie comes out, and it's no longer about projecting yourself onto the role of mother, though it can be. There was a pregnant Barbie, I think. Barbies are mostly about, what is Barbie doing? What outfit is she wearing? What job does she have because of this outfit? Is she a flight attendant, a teacher, an astronaut, whatever, you know? Barbie was feminist in that it was a construct, a fictional character for children, for little girls, that showed them there are other ways of modeling my behavior outside of just identifying as a future wife and mother. I can be a person, an individual that does all these other things. So the idea that Barbie wasn't feminist at the time is crazy. Was it feminist by the standards of today? Of course not. And there are problematic elements that are still discussed today in terms of body image issues and stuff like that. That's fine. Those are fair things to bring up. But it doesn't change the fact that in many ways, Barbie has been progressive and feminist. It's just crazy to me to not understand that. Forrest Espion, thanks for 5 gifted subs.
Franchise, so you're not going to get much
26% to level 5.
for pushback in that area as it would be something like...
Watch it 3 minutes exactly. Wait, that wasn't 3 minutes. I assume it was supposed to be this one. There we go.
Hey.
In Tampa, it's 69 degrees with cloudy skies. Tonight,
oh.
thunderstorms with a low
Did they make the Furby and Alexa?
66 degrees.
To playing my favorite songs.
Ew.
Speak like Yoda, I cannot.
I didn't have room for a battery, let alone the voltage booster that would be needed.
No like. Don't give me creepy Furby friends. Ugh.
Marvel, Star Wars, where that's a mainly male audience.
Which is what Ryan Kennel said. That's what he said.
Yeah, I agree with him on that one.
So, which is why you wonder, is word of mouth going to be a factor? And I'm not predicting this. I'm just saying that's why I made it very clear in my video and what we're talking about now that I don't know what's going to happen, because this is such a weird circumstance with this movie and everything wrapped up in it.
What's the weird circumstance?
And I gotta see what the normies say, and it might take a couple weeks to really suss out how the normies are going to react to this, because it's going to make more money, it's going to be in profit mode this week, but then will it suddenly slow down?
Probably not suddenly. It'll obviously have a drop. There's always a drop. Very rarely do movies gain or stay exactly the same after opening weekend, but I think it has legs. I think that'll be fine.
Will those legs shrink? Maybe not cut out at the knees like we talked about, but
they're so desperate for this to not be a successful film.
Will it slow down because suddenly the extremes on both sides have seen it and said their piece.
The extremes on both sides.
The normie.
It's so funny to me that there's like this idea that because there are crazy chuds over here yelling about how Barbie is ending like masculinity in the West, that they assume due to some weird like law of symmetry they believe in that there must be an equal number of like angry feminists over here. Like somehow being like everyone go see Barbie. It's the most important piece of feminist literature in history. Like, no, not really. You guys are just mad and like crazy. Like there isn't an opposition in the way that you're describing. Oh.
Have seen it, and will the normie telephone?
Like, do you think normies don't go to opening weekend? Like, do you think just everyone, like all, and we're talking global audiences too, we're not even just talking about the United States here. You think that the entire $350 million that it had made up to 2 days ago, that's all fringe people? Like, that's insane. That's not how anything works.
Game suddenly say, yeah, you're not going to enjoy this. It's not fun.
We'll be able to tell a lot better next weekend. Now, when you have a box office...
Let me actually look right now what it's at. Because I'm so curious. Barbie box office. Let's see. Currently, Barbie is at... Oh my god, $472 million, and it hasn't even hit the second weekend yet. We're still, you know, a couple days away from the weekend, and it's already at almost $500 million. I think they're gonna be mad. Tea with Goblins says, life is confusing, death is inevitable, and meaning is arbitrary. Embrace chaos and dance to the swan song of existence, the insane piping. Oh god, why?
Furbies. I can guarantee a lot of...
No. No musical Furbies. What do they mean by normies? In these people's heads, there is them, which they, on some level, must understand they're in, like, what they consider a culture war, and they're on the right, right? And they consider us to be on the opposite side of that. And they assume there's, like, mostly people in the middle who just want to grill. They don't understand that, like, the neutral position is to not give a shit, and maybe be like, oh, that was interesting. That was interesting, and maybe, like, feminist messaging for children can be a good thing. Like, that's a pretty neutral position in this day and age, is, hey, everyone should have, like, rights, regardless of your gender. That's, like, the standard opinion. But they think that's extreme. So, in their heads, there must be all these middle-of-the-road people who haven't seen the movie yet, who, of course, when presented with this milquetoast, corporate feminist messaging, are going to be appalled, as if they've never seen, like, feminism, even just pretty standard, like, not extreme feminism, pretty much just basic, like, hey, women should have rights. When they see that kind of stuff, they think they're gonna freak out, which just isn't the case.
Over 300 million on the first weekend. You have to expect at least a 60 to 65% drop if the word of mouth is good. With bad, you're
60 to 65 is like a pretty not great drop-off. I think 50 is the standard. 70s if it's a quite bad movie, usually. Or at least doesn't have good word of mouth.
Going to see the drop over 70%. So we'll just have to wait and see.
I don't think...
If it actually... if the word of mouth hits and does its job bad, you're going to see 75+% drop.
I feel like it's going to be 2 weeks before the word of mouth takes effect, though. The negative word of mouth. If it has any effect, I feel like it's going to be 2 weeks before we see it. Because I think this thing's going to ride momentum into next week, make another couple $100 million, and then we'll see what happens, because then the normies will have their say. That's I think I hope you're not no one's accusing me of playing it safe on this, but this is a weird. We all agree this is a weird ass circumstance.
Yeah.
Is it? It's really not weird. It's only weird if you think fundamentally that women don't want movies that cater to them, which is kind of a weird fucking thing to think.
Yeah, it's really hard to pinpoint because of the phenomenon that...
Could people generally have different political and social views than I do? No, it must be the execs at Hasbro that are wrong.
This film is, and the garbage that they threw in front of us. It's so it's so hard.
$500 million of garbage, apparently. Hydrate.
I mean, granted, once again, I gotta give credit to the marketing team. This is the greatest marketing ploy I've ever seen.
Marketing ploy.
My life. Second.
I'm sorry, Mattel.
To the Godzilla ploy, because that movie was trash too, but trash for all kind of different reasons. But once again, marketing did huge. Not to mention
that makes me sad, because Hasbro owns Power Rangers, so that means we won't get a Barbie Power Rangers crossover. That's unfortunate.
And God bless.
Of course, she would be the Pink Ranger.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but the daggone actor strike saved this film.
But we said
the actors' strike saved this film. What does that even mean? The productions that are being affected by the strike have nothing to do with this movie that's been complete for a while and was just waiting to release. This movie was done before, like, the writing and shooting of the movie was done before the strike started. What are you talking about? Oh, God.
Last week, will everybody being muzzled help this? And I think no interview snafus, possible interview snafus, has...
they literally think not having a press junket somehow improved the marketing for this movie? What the fuck?
Help this, because Margot Robbie can't step in it, Ryan Gosling can't step in it, Greta Gerwig can't step in anymore, whoever else in this movie can't step in it, because without, we know how they're all like when they're off the leash. They will say things. And no promoting. This is one of those is where I think it benefited it. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Fucking ridiculous. I cannot believe that these people are real. Insanity.
Yo, so today we got a question from our bro Truffle24. He wants to know, yo, Elliot, when do you think it's time to give up on a romantic relationship? He says that our chemistry is usually pretty good, but sometimes we end up arguing and I'm split between whether I should stay or I should go. He also says you should know it's usually because of political and world view differences. So, you ought to know that old Uncle Yo believes that you're better off splitting from a woman physically first before you decide the future for you. What do I mean? If you're still having sex with her, you're going to have a hard time trying to discern with your head mind whether...
Is Elliot sick? I don't know. He got COVID a year or two ago, and even when he had COVID, which I think he might have claimed it wasn't COVID, but it was like way during COVID, he was still doing his workouts with like really heavy weights and shit while he was sick. It was like, what are you doing? It was so bad.
Or not, she's a good find. Because like a drug addict, you're addicted to her drug. And as a result...
In this case, her drug is the fact that you get to fuck her, I guess? That she'll fuck you? Weird.
You can't see her for what she...
Elliot, I believe, is an anti-vaxxer. I could be wrong.
She is. There are a couple different dynamics associated with that, but one of which is that every time you approach her with this consideration of leaving her, you're flooded with the reminder of the good feelings that she provides you with when you...
This is so gross to me, the way he's framing this. Are you telling me that fundamentally you would stay in a relationship with someone not because you want anything to do with them, but strictly because you like the sex that you have? That's not great. That's not great. If, like, assuming, by the way, that that's not the confines of your relationship. If you just have someone who's, like, someone you hook up with, and that's your relationship, fine. Whatever. But, like, if the other person thinks they're in a caring relationship, and you're just there because you want to fuck them, that's not good. That's not honest. That's disrespectful to the other person. What are you doing?
You're boning, bro. And so there's that you ought to know. Number two,
No, he literally just said because you're boning. I'm sorry to prove you wrong immediately.
Flooded with the reminder of the good feelings that she provides you with when you're boning, bro. And so there's...
I appreciate you giving him the benefit of the doubt, even though it was immediately proven wrong.
That you ought to know. Number two, you also ought to know that...
He's talking about this hypothetical woman like she's a cum sock.
Because men have overt...
Or a cum box, or a cum jar. Basically any receptacle for cum.
...power over women. Women yield a more subtle power over us. And it comes in the form of sex. And so...
You being a creep isn't women's fault. Why are you blaming women and saying they have a power over you when it's you being a fucking creep? You are the problem here, not women. The fact that you can't contextualize a sexual relationship in a healthy way and make sure that you understand that, like, the relationship isn't only about sex, assuming that's not what the relationship is, that's a you problem. Women aren't tricking you. You need therapy. God.
So, in a lot of ways, a woman that maybe isn't a good fit for you will keep you under her spell because she...
It isn't her fault that you can't be an adult and make adult decisions because you want to fuck someone. You immature piece of shit.
She has something that you want. She knows that if you go, then you're not going to get the blow, bro. And
good God, there are apps. If you want someone to just hook up with, there are apps for that. Why are you subjecting this poor hypothetical woman to your awful personality if all you want is sex?
Just like a drug addict, you're going to be scratching and fiending and wanting more of that stuff. And you know exactly where to get it. One of the things is...
The way people like Elliot talk about sex makes me think they don't even like it. Which is fine. No one is obligated to like sex. It's totally fine if you don't. But it's weird that it feels like he's acting like sex is a burden or a chore or like something he has to deal with. Like, I have to deal with these urges. Like, holy shit, this is so unhealthy the way you are framing all of this.
Associated with that dynamic is that of a drug addict and a drug dealer, right? Like, the drug addict doesn't love the drug dealer, he loves the drug. He doesn't even love the drug so much, he loves the high. And the drug...
That's what drugs do. Like, what does that even mean? I don't like the drug, I like the high. What do you think drugs do? That's a really stupid statement. Like, no, I don't think people sit around and just aesthetically are like, oh, that cocaine looks beautiful. Primarily, they want to get high. That's not a secret, Elliot.
Dealer doesn't love the drug addict. He loves the power that he gets for knowing that he's needed and that he's getting money, and so he has power over this guy. It's an unresourceful relationship. It's an abusive relationship. And it's one that you can avoid if you get off of the drug.
There are people that do that with weed. I think there are 0 people who do that with weed that also don't get high.
The third dynamic that's associated with it is the beer goggles themselves. Oh, I meant sex goggles. When you're high,
if you're incapable of making rational decisions because you're horny, you're a psycho.
You can't see right. You can't...
Like, honestly, even if it comes down to that, masturbate. Just masturbate.
Can't think right.
You're an adult. Do you not know how to do this? I
don't make good decisions. And so, you know, I know there's this term that dudes use called post-nut clarity. Well, there's something that's even clearer than post-nut clarity. And that's the clarity that you get when you get off her drug. Don't blow your load with her at all.
Imagine you found out you had like a partner or boyfriend or whatever who listened to this and this is how you were being talked about. As if your physical relationship isn't something that you share together because you're a couple or people who, you know, find each other attractive, whatever the situation is. They don't view the sex that you have as something, an activity you're taking part in together as mutual, you know, people. To them, it's like, ooh, this is a drug. This sex is a drug you're using to addict me. Like, imagine you found out your partner talked about you and thought about you like this. Like, that's fucked up. Like, I'd be like, you goddamn psycho, what are you doing? Please leave. It's crazy.
And so my advice is to take a sex fast from the girl. Tell her that, that you know, in order to see whether or not you love her for who she is, right? This is going to give her, maybe, it'll be very threatening to her, first of all. If you tell a girl...
Oh my god, can you imagine your partner coming up to you and being like, I don't think we should have sex for a while. I'm trying to figure out if I just like fucking you or if I actually like you as a human being. At least she'll know to run away, hopefully. God. Tea with Goblin says, I hate the way that men talk about women as if they were mystical, mind-controlling sex witches that drain men of their capacity to act rationally or ethically. It's the same rhetoric that was in the Maleficarium, the 15th century witch-hunting manual. Its authors insisted that women were inherently more inclined to sin, and therefore to tempt men away from virtue. Witches could do this by literally stealing penises and keep them as pets, which admittedly is mental as fuck. People like this, men like this, take problems that they have. Clearly this guy has issues. He has issues with sex. He has issues with desire. He has issues with something surrounding his sexual health, his sexual relationships, his sexual whatever. Don't know what. But he has some sort of problem with this. Whatever guilt he's feeling about sexuality and his sexuality, he is projecting outwards. And I don't mean in the sense that he is saying that someone else is doing the exact same thing he's doing. I mean projection in the sense that he knows that these things make him feel uncomfortable, but instead of recognizing that this is a him issue that he needs to work out, no. In terms of people like this, their thought process is the center around which everything else rotates. Their thought process cannot be wrong. They cannot be unhealthy or toxic. Anything they feel that makes them uncomfortable is someone else's fault. So it's not that he has unhealthy attitudes towards sex in his mind. He thinks, this is women's fault. They're intentionally trapping me. It's not that I have clear issues with women and sex. It's women's fault. It's the inability to look within oneself and reflect, and instead look for outside reasons for the feelings you're feeling. Instead of looking internally, which would be accurate, but potentially devastating to your ego, you instead look outwards and try and find external causes for the distress or negative feelings that you feel. And you blame others. Pretty common amongst people like this.
Girl that
right-wingers, MGTOW, etc.
You want to stop having sex with her, she's going to feel very threatened because that's taking away the power that she has over you.
Even in this, he's acting like this hypothetical woman. This is a hypothetical woman, so it's not even someone that he has some sort of reason to have negative views about. In this hypothetical, he is assuming that this woman is maniacally going, ha ha ha, I have him wrapped around my finger because we fuck. Do you think women don't enjoy sex? Because I'm gonna be real with you. They do. If you're good at it. Like, I don't mean to toot my own horn here. If you're good at sex, people want to have it with you if they are attracted to you and you're comfortable with them. Like, this idea that, like, oh, women only use sex because they don't want to have it is just telling on yourself. All you are telling me when you say that is you have never made a woman come. That is all I'm hearing from you. I'm hearing that you stick it in for at best 5 minutes and then are like, all right, I'm done. So that's it. We're done now. Jesus Christ.
But if you position it in such a way that you're trying to see whether or not you love her with all of your might, I want to know if I really love you from my heart and my mind. And in order to do so, I want to pull back from the physical interactions that I have with you. Tell her that, you know, I'm really discerning
Mods,
you
there's
for...
going to be someone in a second who's a troll. Keep an eye out for a first-time chat. Keep your fingers on the block button.
Wife and to live my life with you.
I'm going to try and preemptively
want to
do
know
it.
whether or not it's true that you and I should be together any longer, dude.
One second. Did they already leave? Okay. Keep an eye out.
And
thank you, Baha. I actually didn't even see whatever the message was. You got it to him before I could see it, so thank you. Sume says the mythical female orgasm as elusive as a unicorn. Seen a lot of unicorns in my day, let me tell you.
don't blow your load with her at all. And so my advice is to take a sex fast from the girl. Tell her that you know...
Don't even know if that was the Chud. It was.
In order to see whether or not you love her for who she is, right? This is going to give her... Maybe... It'll be very threatening to her, first of all.
How do I know? Because of the name. Read the name.
If you tell a girl that you want to stop having sex
and I got a... When they followed, I got a thing that said it.
Her, she's going to feel very threatened because that's taking away the power that she has over you. But if you position it in such a way that you're trying to see whether or not you love her with all of your might, I want to know if I really love you from my heart and my mind. And in order to do so, I want to pull back from the physical interactions that I have with you. Tell her that, you know, I'm really discerning you for a wife and to live my life with you, and that I want to know whether or not it's true that you and I should be together any longer, dude. And so, dude, don't.
Clear Cat says, hey, Hannah, I'm not super great at noticing stuff, but how long have you had that nice sign behind you? It looks nice. Maybe a week or so. We found, it had the Hannah, but no lights. We found it at a thrift store, and then Baha put lights on it and added the Reloaded. So it's very nice. Look at that. Upcycling.
Dude rhymes, but don't call your girl dude. So you're gonna take a break from having sex with her. Now listen.
I showed it to my therapist today too, because I do therapy online, so I'm here. I was not wearing the maid outfit though.
And like I said, it's a
changed into it after therapy.
Threat. It's a big threat to a girl if you tell her that you don't want to have sex with her. And so you might discover just right then and there that because of her reaction, that she's a bad woman. You got to do this for you. You got to do this for both of you. And you got to do it for the salvation of both of your souls.
The salvation of your souls, sir. It's sex. Get over yourself.
Mentioned that, you know, there's a good reason why fornication is a sin.
How many subs for Hannah to wear the maid outfit to therapy? My therapist knows about the maid outfit. She's aware. I've talked about it in therapy before. I'll just be honest about it. I had a session in therapy some months ago where I was struggling with the maid outfit thing. I talked about it with her. I was like, I did this as a joke initially, but I feel like some people are maybe actually horny about it, and I don't know how to feel about it. It feels weird because it's not something I'm used to. So if someone is looking at me like that, it's weird. I always intended this to be comedic, which I still think it primarily is, but some people are like, you know. So I don't know. I talked with her about that.
It's not that God wants you to live a bad life or be boring or not have fun, but it's because of the very situations that you find yourself in. When you're boning a girl that you're not discerning and deciding to be with on a logical level, you end up creating bad families. And this is what happens. Oh, you know, a lot of people like to blame women for the high divorce rate, you know.
Sume says, I'm sorry, Hannah, I don't mean to make you uncomfortable. I'm fine with it now. I just struggled with it for a little.
Percent of divorces are initiated by women. We know that.
Hope I saw this. Oh God, what is it? That's actually pretty good.
But a part of the reason why all those divorces happen to begin with is because dudes are with girls that they really shouldn't be with. And so my advice to come full circle, bro, is to...
I understand that you guys are saying, like... I understand, like I said, the vast majority is all just thinks it's funny, which it is. It is funny. I get it. But, like, if you've never been a streamer, like, let me give you an example. One time, a random person, just out of the blue, messaged me on Twitter, a viewer that I'd never seen before, and literally was like, I'll pay you $1,000 to do insert act here under the table on stream. Like, this happened to me once. And it's like, there are people who do that. Just saying. I did not do it, for the record. I did not do it. I'm just telling you that kind of thing does happen. So
Stop blowing your load with this girl. Stop having sex, take a sex break, get your mind cleared up.
It was not Sume. Like I said, it was someone totally that I've never seen before in chat.
Get that unresourceful or abusive relationship that's tied to the sex off the table completely, and you might find out, wow, what the heck was I doing with this girl this whole time? Now that I'm not getting those pleasurable feelings from her, I can see her.
This is wild. Are you completely unable to discern your feelings for someone outside of a sexual context? Because that is bizarre. That is so weird to me. How could you not just know that as a person?
Who she is. She's a nutcase. Or it could also be that, wow, we haven't had sex in 3 months and we actually like each other even more because we're not getting into that up and down emotional roller coaster that's often associated with...
Maid costumes are a trope. Yeah, it was a thing for a while where a bunch of Twitch people were wearing maid outfits for things.
Highs and lows.
It was supposed to be it's an ironic commentary on that because I am not... It's an ironic commentary on that for several reasons.
Of having sex, dude. So I hope that helps. Done.
It's taking something that is generally pandering and overtly sexual and putting it into context that is not that. The context being this stream. Doodle Stargazer says, gee, I wonder if he's had a bad experience with women. Baggage. I think he's the bad experience with women. He's married, though, so be aware of that. Oh, this is the anti-vegan lady.
Hello. I just wanted to make a video and say thank you to all of my fellow anti-vegan friends who have actually stuck around.
Bumble Homestead says, my husband was shocked. He's never seen a lady's inbox. I don't even stream, but I posted a ballet costume I sewed that looked like a corset. Andronicus Khan says, if I'm going to give Elliot the benefit of the doubt, I might assume that he has, against all odds, somehow dated a long line of nothing but actual literal succubi. It would help explain his views on women. Or, Occam's razor, he's just shitty. Just shitty.
During this channel change, part of the reason why I decided to change my channel direction was because I started noticing the same dogmatic...
She used to only be anti-vegan, but now she's a general chud. She does other stuff now, too.
Vegan mentality that was being pushed upon our society. The dogma was actually a part of a grander scheme. I started noticing that veganism was just a small part of the problem. That actually veganism was one of the most obvious dogmatic, cultist concepts and ideologies that you could find, because veganism actually starves you.
No, plenty of people can have vegan diets, and as long as they're keeping track of, like, making sure they're getting all their nutrients and stuff, it's fine. Tons of people are vegan, and they're fine. My wife is a vegan. She's fine.
And
she has been for years.
Makes you malnourished, makes you more unhinged. And I think that makes you more obsessed with whatever concept or ideology.
And this lady isn't obsessed with anything. That's why she made a whole channel about shitting on vegans. And now is mostly talking about, let's see. Hive mind mass psychosis, how an entire population became mind controlled. Target psyop, no such thing as trans. No, men cannot be women. I am a real woman. Like, you see what I mean? Like, she's clearly obsessed with trans people now. Among other things. But she's calling other people obsessed. Interesting.
That you're attached to. So, if you're a vegan and you're super malnourished and you fully believe in this
Sume says, someone calling me a cornerstone of the channel. I don't like that description. I prefer keystone because cornerstones are on the bottom and keystones are at the top. God damn it.
Belief system, this, you know, don't eat animals, meat is murder, and milk is rape. If you actually believe that, that belief only solidifies itself because you're actually...
Like, I don't know, have you seen, like, factory farming? Like, I'm not a vegan, but even I, like, how can you not see the conditions that these animals are under and not see that there are issues? You know what I mean?
Starving.
Like, I'm not even a vegan or a vegetarian, but I can still recognize the fucking moral issues at play here. Are you just pretending they don't exist?
And you have no discernment, and you start losing touch with reality, and you stop aligning with the value.
She's talking, the milk is our word thing is like, for instance, that vegan teacher. For those who don't know, I assume you should know this, but in order to give milk, cows need to be pregnant. Or, you know, have the hormonal situation like they've just had a baby. So the process of, like, dairy cows is being inseminated to create milk. So that they're pregnant, so they produce milk.
It's
part of the whole farming process.
True
But the idea that animal husbandry is not a new thing. That's been around for a long time. The issue for me is more the factory style situation that they're in that just causes abject suffering of all the animals.
Passion, love, and morality. Veganism is just a small part of a much greater scheme, of a much larger cult. And in my opinion, it all roots down to Satanism.
Shocking!
It's like feminism, communism, veganism. That's all just...
They all end in ism. It must mean something.
Concepts and ideologies that embed themselves into the psyche because you have been programmed over and over and over to believe.
I don't think anyone in the United States has ever been programmed into veganism. It's still a quite minority position to be vegan or even vegetarian. It's growing, but it's certainly not the majority or even close to it. Like, what? If there was an intentional psyop to get people to be vegan, they're doing a bad job. Because Americans love meat.
This concept.
And cheese.
By listening to people that you trust, by listening to anecdotal evidence, by doing research and reading books and believing in science and believing that, you know, just because it's science, that makes it true.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, hun.
By stating such a blatant lie, like a lie that's only of half-truths, like stating the fact that broccoli has like 4 times as much protein in it than chicken by the gram. And you're not told that chicken actually has more protein, bioavailable protein in it, and there's no way that broccoli, that you can even...
Do you think that people who are vegan only eat broccoli? Baja doesn't even like broccoli, at least I don't think. Was that one of the ones she didn't like? Like, broccoli is not the only thing that you can get protein from. What?
Eat the amount of grams of broccoli. Just gram after gram after gram, pound after pound of broccoli. And in reality, all of that protein is just gonna go straight out.
Broccoli is like my favorite. I'm trying to think. In terms of like this kind of vegetable. Broccoli, asparagus. No, broccoli, peas, corn, asparagus. Brussels sprouts are on the bottom. Brussels sprouts are disgusting.
The other end because it's not bioavailable.
Like raw broccoli, not cooked broccoli? Gotcha.
This is what they do in all of these ideologies and all of these thought forms. They make you believe by using half-truths. And actually...
Yogurt is not vegan. There is vegan yogurt, though. There is vegan yogurt, you know.
Actually, it's not even a half-truth. It's more like a blatant lie It's like, you're 80% water, so you shouldn't have to.
I think we're like 70% water. 75 on it.
Eat anything else. It's the same thing as veganism.
I don't think anyone says that except for like breatharians and their psychos.
The way that they use their bullshit lies, it's the same thing as communism.
Everything I don't like is communism.
For instance, communism.
I stubbed my toe earlier. It was the communists' fault. Hydrate.
It's like under the guise of being a good guy. It's just like veganism, man. Communism and veganism are the same exact thing.
What do you think that means? What do you think the sentence you just said means?
Communism is a deceptive, delusional lie that...
What do you think communism is?
Only works out on paper.
Oh my god, she's just repeating all the things she's read on the internet. Holy fucking shit.
Veganism is even more pathetic than communism because veganism doesn't even work out on paper.
Literally, there are tons of vegans. What are you talking about? Like, people who've been vegans for years and years and years. Decades in some cases. Like, what?
Communism does. When you work veganism and communism in real life, they both fail miserably. But it's the same thing as all of these other ideologies and thought forms that are being pushed upon our society, pushed upon our people, that we're being programmed to believe whatever we believe. And instead of us having discernment, we choose to be aloof and biased, and we choose to hear what we want to hear. So you hear, oh, communism just means everybody should be equal. And people think...
Communism, I think, as originally described, is supposed to be like a classless, stateless society. I wouldn't consider myself a communist. I don't think... Let me put it this way. I think in terms of my ideology, I try and center things around things that I think are reasonable to happen within, if not my lifetime, then like a generation or two after. I don't think that's feasible. The way I look at it is I would like workers to have rights and have workers get benefits, more benefit of the labor that they do, and people at the top should get less because they're taking too much. That's my current focus, right? Most people are not communists in the way you were describing. Like, Marxist communism, this idea of a classless, stateless society, is not generally popular. I'm not saying there aren't Marxists and communists, I'm just saying, like, you're fighting a paper tiger. Like, this is nuts that you think this is some kind of actual issue. Juggle. Okay, I can do that.
That everyone being equal is such a good thing. But what do you mean?
Oh, fuck! She's literally just gonna be anti-equality. Oh, no! I didn't even expect this to be this bad.
Equal. Equal in what? Equal pay and work opportunities, equality of outcome. Does that mean that everybody has to be as smart as one another? So does that mean that you can't...
For your case, I fucking hope not.
Can't have intelligent people and that you can't have dumb people, that everybody has to be this...
I believe the thought is something along the lines of from each according to his abilities, to each according to their needs. You do the best you can, you get what you need to live.
Same. And so communism is like, oh, we're gonna make everybody the same intelligence, right? We're gonna make...
That is not what are you even talking about? This is nonsense. That is not anything that communism says, for whatever that even fucking means. Even the idea that she's saying communism, like there aren't different schools of, like, thought in leftist thinking is so fucking wild to me.
Make everybody have equal intelligence. And the trick is that they're gonna just make you stupider. They're gonna put some kind of...
They won't have to put in much effort for you. Heyo.
Machine on your head, like these phones, and they're just gonna make you stupider and
I'm sorry, you think that there's a thing that they can put on your head and make you stupider? Like the opposite of a thinking cap? We'll call it the dunce cap. We'll call it the dunce cap.
Program you and make you dumber and dumber and dumber. So that everybody, everyone's equal now, right? Everyone's stupid. And no one can tie their...
Hey chat, what's this? It's not gonna work. I can't do the joke. I can't put it on her head. It's a brain sucker. What's it doing? Starving.
You anymore, and nobody has discernment anymore. And yeah, that's what communism is. It's like,
that's what
you think
communism is when they put a device on your head that sucks out all your thoughts, like in Batman Forever. Remember Batman Forever, where that was the Riddler's evil plan? Basically that. It's the Riddler's evil plan from Batman Forever. Genius.
Oh, everyone's gonna have equal money. Everyone's gonna have equal pay, equal housing, equal job opportunities, equal this, equal that. No. Real
Jake Thoney says, you're a joy to watch. Hi, I hope you're having a good time.
Communism, nobody even has a job, okay?
What? Do you know what a commune is? People very much work hard at communes, and those are built around, like, the idea of communism. The idea that people don't work under communism is kind of weird.
You're a slave to the state, and you have no way of escape.
As opposed to now, where you're a slave for private interest, which is better for some reason.
And communism, they make everybody...
Also, under actual, like, Marxism, there's no state. Again, I'm not saying I think that that's realistic in any time period close to now, or maybe even ever. I'm just saying, definitionally, you're wrong.
Equal by putting you, like, in China, in shacks, and everybody has to...
I don't know if you know this, but, like, I think there are a lot of people out there who are maybe living in their cars or on the street that would prefer to live in a shack. Just saying.
Stay in a shack because, oh, that's communism, that's equal. And then you have the opposite end of that, totalitarianism. It's
totalitarianism?
Just a brave new world. So all these things, feminism, communism, veganism, they're all a part of transhumanism. They want people...
What? What do you think transhumanism is?
To think and believe that they can be greater than God, that they can be more than human.
Have you considered that you're maybe watching too many YouTube videos? Or BitChute or Rumble or wherever you get this information? Profane Priestess says, the way I see it, that a stateless, classless, moneyless society like Star Trek is the utopian ideal, and I hope we'll get there one day. What we can do now is establishing workers' cooperatives, communal housing, single-payer healthcare, tuition-free education, and more democratic tools of decision-making. Therefore, I consider myself both a communist and an anarchist because those are my ideals. Fair enough.
As if being human isn't good enough. As if being human wasn't beautiful and magical all on its own.
Have you considered that vegans are in fact human, as are trans people? You goddamn psycho! And what, you think communists aren't human? What in the world? What in Joseph McCarthy is happening?
Veganism is Satanism. Communism, Satanism. Feminism, Satanism. The MGTOW, men going the other way, that's fucking
MGTOW.
Satanism. Anything that divides you from people, anything...
So like being an anti-vegan, that's dividing you from people. You're anti-trans, that's dividing you from people. Just seems like you hate everything progressive. That's dividing people.
That pushes you away from God. Everything is rooted in...
Not everyone is religious, and not everyone who is religious believes in your particular religion, and not everyone who believes in your particular religion believes in the specific sect you are a part of, and even within that sect there are people who probably disagree with you personally on how you're interpreting things. This idea that there's some universal Christian ideology is wild when there are countless sects of Christianity and its various offshoots. Like, it's just wild. Everyone thinks they're right, though. Everyone thinks they're right, for sure.
Light and dark, and demons do exist. They are manifested by human beings. They're manifested into our reality by temptation. You choosing to be a good person, choosing to do good works in your life, to help people or to hurt people.
Doing good works sounds a little Catholic to me.
And this transhuman...
It's a joke.
Shit is...
I don't know if she hates Catholic people.
It's all to hurt people. It's all to bring people down, to keep people divided. I don't like talking politics with my friends. I don't like
I can't imagine why. I'm sure they find it to be such a joy.
Talking religion with people unless you're able to be nice. Like, just be nice.
Don't criticize me for hating everyone who isn't like me. I can hate them, but they're not allowed to call me out on being awful, okay? Wow, genius. Good fucking self-aware take there. This is the saddest pick-me video. This is fucking pathetic.
Nice and respectful. And have a real...
It's a shame, too, because her makeup is nice and I like her jewelry. But her takes are dog shit.
Conversation, and don't shoot each other down and make degrading comments to each other. And snarky little remarks. And if somebody does do that to you, forgive them.
You're doing that. You're doing the thing.
And try to treat them better in a way, and try to talk to them differently, in a different way that makes them...
Like, make YouTube videos where you walk through your yard and call everything you don't like communism and Satanism. That's the rational, normal thing to do.
See that, oh, there's no reason to be defensive. This person is just talking, and it's so hard now. It used to be when I was in my early 20s that I could talk to almost anybody, and it didn't matter if we agreed with each other or not. It was really cool to have polarizing conversations.
I'm assuming many of which you didn't understand based on this conversation.
That we disagreed with each other, and yet we're still able to come together as friends and eat. And
why won't people go out to dinner with me when I just want to talk about how I think all trans people are Satan worshippers who want to destroy God? I can't imagine why. They're such reasonable positions.
Dance and laugh.
Wonder who cut her off in her life and she never got over it? I'm assuming more than one person.
And stuff. Back then, it was different. People weren't so attached to their belief systems as if it were their God. And that...
Your political belief system appears to entirely be based around God. The hypocrisy. The blatant hypocrisy.
That's why everybody blames Christianity for all this far-right Republican dogmatic behavior.
Have you considered the reason for that is the Venn diagram is basically a circle?
Like forcing your religion upon other people, telling people they're going to hell if they don't believe in Jesus Christ and things like that. All of that has been put onto these other dogmatic concepts and ideologies that are basically religions unto themselves. Atheism, that is a religion.
No, it's not.
It is the stupidest religion that I've ever heard of. How are you going to be an atheist and be passionate about being an atheist? You don't...
I'm sorry, passionate about being an atheist? I'm just non-religious. It's not like a big part of my personality. I made a living talking about it a while back, but like... very much that is not on the list of things I would initially describe myself as. My personality isn't dictated by the fact that I'm non-religious.
Don't believe in God.
Like, I know, right? The idea that, like, you have to be... your passion is derived from your religious belief is really interesting. Like, that is not at all how I see things, and not how I've heard other people, even Christians, describe things. It's interesting. It's funny to me, because it feels like if there was a God, like I said, I'm not religious, but if there was a God, it seems to me, why would that God create a universe with so many wonderful things in it, and then want you to only focus on them? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
God. So why are you so mad about somebody believing in God? Why are you so upset? It should never...
People aren't upset about you believing. You're free to believe, and that's great, and I hope you enjoy that, and you can worship however you want, as long as you're not hurting people. The problem is, once your beliefs start affecting other people, in the sense that you, I don't know, let's say don't want your children to learn basic facts about reality, Like, I don't know, the shape of the earth, or that evolution is true. Like, that gets to be a problem if you start telling people that gay people can't get married and trans people need to go back in the closet and not exist in public because of your religious belief. That's a you problem that you're making everyone else's problem. Your religion says you can't be trans. Doesn't say I can't be trans. I'm not your religion. I don't believe your religion. Keep it, it's a personal thing for you and your community. Stop projecting it onto other people and they'll stop being mad at you.
Never faze you at all. A true atheist should be just willing to have these conversations.
I am, generally, though I don't think anyone is obligated to.
And be confident in their views and open-minded enough to talk about them without crying like a little baby, which is what we're dealing with every fucking topic. Like, if I don't like somebody, then I don't like them. It's because of who they are as a whole.
Right, you being homophobic is part of who you are as a whole. I'm glad we could clear that up. Your politics are part of who you are. Your politics speak to your values or lack thereof.
Just because I disagree with somebody doesn't mean I don't like them. Like, there's so many...
Kinda seems like it does. You can't really divide, like, being transphobic or homophobic from individuals that are impacted by that, as much as you might like to.
Many people... I love that I disagree with a lot on different things. I really like Jordan Peterson, and I don't agree...
Shocking!
Agree with him being a carnivore. I don't agree that carnivore should be... the carnivore diet should be something that you do for your whole life, unless you do have serious autoimmune disorders. But, you know, Jordan Peterson is awesome.
He's not. Jordan Peterson is awful. I did a whole series on his fucking book. He's a dog shit person. He's gotten even more dog shit since he gave himself brain damage with a Russian coma. Bittergrin says, I shouldn't need to defend my atheism to her either, though. I don't need to be willing to talk. I shouldn't need to defend myself to every Christian. Absolutely.
Adore him.
No, she is an anti-vegan chud. And not just like she isn't vegan, she's actively thinks veganism is awful and evil.
I think he's so cute.
What's a Russian coma? Jordan Peterson went to Russia and had them put him in a coma because he was addicted to benzodiazepines. But American doctors wouldn't do it. They said that that's an unsafe way to do it and that they need to just, like, wean him off the drug. So they wouldn't do what he wanted in Canada. Sorry, Canada. I think I said US. He's Canadian. So he flew to Russia to some sketch-ass doctors that would do whatever he wanted as long as he gave him money. So they put him in a coma, and he got brain damage. So if you've seen Jordan Peterson being crazier lately, it's because he literally has brain damage, allegedly.
Cute and so smart and intelligent, and I love people like that. I love the human race. And, you know...
He kind of Gary Busey'd himself.
Is one that I don't like at all.
Which is a little disrespectful to Gary Busey, but there it is.
That I could think of Andrew Tate. I cannot stand Andrew Tate. But dude, do I think he deserved to be in a Romanian prison?
You should, because he is probably guilty of the crimes that he has been charged with.
For being blackmailed and for being...
Wow, she's really dumb. And I'm not saying this in a derogatory way. I genuinely feel bad. Like, this lady is stupid. This lady is really, really uninformed and dumb and has no idea what's going on in the world at all.
Distorted and framed. No. And doesn't mean that I disagree with every word that he said.
Yeah, I believe Busey was in a car accident and that caused everything that happened after that.
No, I actually agree with a lot that Andrew Tate says, but I sure as hell don't like him. So I can agree with people that I don't like. I can disagree with people that I do like.
And what is this milquetoast? Like, she thinks, like, I'm just nice to everyone. Like, okay, maybe you shouldn't be. Have you considered that there are some people that you shouldn't be nice about? Like Andrew Tate, an alleged rapist? Jesus Christ.
I could still love the human race for being human. So I just want to thank you all everyone who has stuck around through my anti-vegan content, and even if you didn't really want to watch my other videos, just the fact that you even liked it and moved on is really effing cool. And I really appreciate all of the comments. I don't thank you guys enough. I appreciate all of the comments and all of my friends here. I know a lot of your names. I recognize you by your thumbnails, by your little screen names, and I just really appreciate all of the love, the connections that I've made with you.
What a nutbag. We'll be watching her more on Chud Watch. It seems like she's turned a corner on her content, and it is crazier now. So,
there's no such thing with true
oopsie.
Girls. There's no such thing as a transgender child. The only way that's possible is if they were born actually as like a hermaphrodite.
Oh my god. I literally was a trans child, now a trans adult, so you're wrong. And the correct nomenclature these days is intersex. That's not how anything fucking works. Oh my god. Ugh. Well, that was a weird noise my mouth made. Okay, let's do a raid. I'm done. I might cover on tinfoil streams too, I don't know.
Place order.
Oh look, another maid outfit. That seems appropriate. Alright, have a good night, guys. I'll be back tomorrow on YouTube for a YouTube stream. Love you too, Mr. Blast. So, make sure you keep an eye out for notifications on YouTube. What else? Sunday will be the patron-only live show, now that I can do live streaming on YouTube again. And that's it. I hope you all have an excellent night. Drink some water. See you guys later.